projet d'un contre lointain. Je viens prendre toi d'ici, dès là-bas. Je viens des partout. Pouvons prendre mon swagger. C'est ton style banal pour moi. Et tout votre découpe rapidement.
At the last 4 World RX rounds, Team Peugeot Hansen have won 3 events, very nearly 4. Drivers Timmy Hansen and Davy Genet have been systematically knocking out the opposition, barging their team into top spot. Now the cars have arrived on home gravel, is it time for the French Lion to roar again? The FIA World Rallycross Championship returns to Loheac, France for round 9. Situated 35 kilometres south of Rennes, the track here was first used for rallycross back in 1978. Expect big crowds and lots of Gallic passion as the fans get behind their flying Frenchman. Petter Solberg may still lead the Drivers' Championship by 41 points, but his title defence took another blow as he failed to make the final in Norway for the second race in succession. Solberg crashed out in semi-final 2, or as it's now known, the Battle of Hell, which also saw Backerud and Ekstrom fail to make the final after big hits and punctures. Timmers Yarnov, however, must have seen what was coming and had swapped his Ford Fiesta for a tank. He was able to roll, land on his wheels and carry on, finishing a remarkable third to qualify for the final.
Yeah, that was really funny actually. Better have something strange with his car, because when you're going downhill after the turn 2, I crashed into his rear, maybe a few more touches of him. Tried to overtake him on the left side because he's coming slower. In the end, yeah, I passed him. After that, I understand that the Matthias have the problem with his car. He's going really slow, and I can't overtake him. But suddenly, all the trouble seems so far away. Matthias turned a little bit to the left because he have the puncture on the front. I have no bumper on the front already, and I have open tire. Go on his rear bumper, suddenly go on his rear bonnet, and after that touch his spoiler, and I was already on the side, and I go into the monster sign with the rolling car. When I land, which line I am, my engine is running, I have second gear on, full throttle, continue to drive. We are all the friends in the paddock, but we are like enemies on the track.
The final was dominated by Team Peugeot Hansen from the start. Timmy Hansen and Davy Genet built an unassailable lead and finished a dominant 1-2 in hell. A sweet victory indeed for Timmy.
Finally we put it all together. The car was amazingly quick and I won the starts. So with David next to me, both in the semi and just behind me in the final, I felt really safe through the first corner. And yeah, I was able to come home first. It's a long way up to Petter, and I think he's 41 points ahead. But there are 5 races to go, and it's still a long way till the end of the championship. It's gonna be tough and it's a long way, but it's not impossible.
Peugeot Hansen's first and second sees them take the top spot in the Teams Championship, leading Ford MSC by 29 points. A remarkable run of form has seen the Peugeot drivers take 6 podium positions in the last 4 rounds.
It's not really anything magic. We worked hard to get there, and I think the great thing with the car now, with the 2.8, is that we have confident drivers with it. They really, the car 2.8 do what they want to do with it. So it's important that they have the confidence, and then we can just continue to work with small things. So it's nothing really magic. I think a lot of people believe we have done a huge step, but of course we did, but it was just a mixture. Timmy is quite young, and he has been grown up quite a lot, and now it's his 3rd year in the full championship, so he learns every time, and for sure he's determined to try to catch Petter. That I know, and I think he's, as I said, mentally he's strong enough to do it.
With a bumper entry of 37 supercars, including 13 French drivers, the local fans have a lot to cheer about, especially as one of them is 4-time World Touring Car Champion Ivan Muller, making his World RX debut on native soil.
I wanted to do the experience on the Rallycross. We decided to come here because the schedule was open for me, so we decided to come on this round, especially here in Loheac, because it's a great event here in France.
Coming up, we've got highlights of the action from Heats 1 and 2, the best of the action from Heat 3. In Heat 4, we find out who will make it to the semi-finals. We've got the Supercar semi-finals live, the live Super 1600 final, and the World RX Supercar final live. Here's the track preview presented by Ion Cameras. Back to Loheac then, the famous French track. 1,070 metres long, 63% asphalt and 37% dirt, but that will really clean up as the weekend goes on. We're on board with Yvan Muller, multiple World Touring Car champion, getting his head around Rallycross. Look at the speed of the car, the Albotech Racing 208 away from the line, so very short straight down into a right-hander, onto the dirt and then immediately into the left. This was when it was very wet and slippery in free practice on Saturday morning. Bumpy down the straight, a short crest, braking then into a right-hander, and we take the Joker lap to the right. The standard lap goes left and onto dirt. The Joker has a small jump, and then it's a left and a right. You need to use all the curbs, try to carry the speed around. Back onto dirt, through the right-hander. The Joker merges from the left, and you're on the outside as you turn into the second to last corner. A long left-hander, crucial to get it right, because that means you're on the right line to fire the power over the line. Some very passionate French fans have made the pilgrimage to Loheac, praying for a homegrown winner, but it was Liam Doran who got Heat 1 underway in spectacular fashion with a sideways move around the outside of everyone. He then made a mistake which dropped him to second, took the lead back after the Jokers, and then had all his hard work undone by rear suspension failure on the final lap. Rainis Nittish got an average start in his race and opted to Joker on lap 1. Out front, Robin Larsson forced his way past Mark LeBoul for the lead, but it was the Latvian strategy that proved to be best, and he took the win. Timo Timozianov and Topi Heikkinen clashed at the Joker lap entrance. The Russian had wanted to Joker, but contact forced them to swap their chosen laps. Timo's broken Fiesta ended the race parked in the wall, while Topi's Polo took the flag. Petter Solberg set off like a rocket in his race and led from lights to flag, setting a new benchmark 1.5 seconds faster than anyone else had gone. Fellow double event winner Davy Genet was up next, but he ran wide at the hairpin, and Jérôme Grosset-Janin didn't need asking twice. He held on to take the win, while Genet slipped back to third when Backer had got him at the Joker lap exit. French hero Yvan Muller showed the crowd his touring car skills wouldn't transfer to Rallycross, but he was no match for Norway winner Timmy Hansen, who looked incredibly relaxed as he flew around the Loheac track and pipped Petter by just 1/10 of a second to win Heat 1. The two unluckiest drivers from Heat 1 were quick to make amends in Heat 2. Liam Doran won his race, and Timo Timozianov set a very impressive time indeed on his outing in the OMSE Run Forward. JB de Bourg caught Rainis Nittish napping and made a great pass which Nittish had no answer for. Tord Linnerud wasn't so tidy. He gave his lead away with a mistake at the end of the straight that allowed Anton Markland to sneak past and take victory for EKSRX. Van Muller was the next victim at the very same corner. Heikkinen saw a hint of a gap and stuck the nose of the Polo in, leaving Muller facing the wrong way in the Albotech 208 and playing catch-up for the rest of the race. Out front, backward threw his car into the Joker lap exit, but couldn't match the pace of Davy Genet. The final race of the day saw another unbelievable start from Petter Solberg, but Hansen behind him clearly had better pace in the Peugeot and let the world champion know he was there. When Hansen eventually jokered, he found the clear air he needed and set the fastest time of the day to take a clean sweep of heat victories and another overnight TQ.
I just waited to hear Joker on the radio, and he came on lap 3. And once I went in, that lap that I did was really good, and I was able to really push, and it was enough to beat him out of the Joker. At the Peugeot, you can really feel that it's at home here in France. So it's handling so well, and it just wants to be quick.
Timmy Hansen then at the top of the overnight table for the 4th event in a row. Solberg, Ekstrom, Christophersen, Genet, Backer, Stoll and Dubourg are the top 8. Then it's Markland, Serrazan, Nittish and Linnerud who are currently in.
Well, this is one team that's very strong at the intermediates, EKSRX. Let's have a look inside, where we should hopefully find some of the drivers preparing for Heat 3. Yes, in fact, over here we have Anton Markland looking very pensive at the tyre situation. Anton, well done in Heats 1 and 2. It's a good overall position. What's going on with the tyres in particular?
Yeah, the tires is really hot on this track. It's good weather, it's nice sunshine, the track is warm and the gravel isn't so loose. It's really good grip in the gravel, so the tire really doesn't have any time to rest. It's under full pressure all the time, so the rubber is going off quite quickly.
And talking of under pressure all the time, you must feel pressure and you seem to be coping with it this weekend. Going into Heat 3, what's the plan? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think this weekend has been pretty good anyway at the start. Now with Heat 1 and 2 I need to keep a bit safe. Heat 3 and 4 I really look forward. I start on P1 for Heat 3 and then it's just to keep on pushing and hope to be scoring good results.
And is there any pressure from the team? What does Matthias say to you before a heat, for example?
Well, I think everybody in the team wants to do a good result, as well as me. But I don't think in particular they are putting pressure on me that I have been a bit out of pace some of the races and so on. Now in the end we have had really good pace and I really look forward to the rest races that is coming because I really feel confident with the car now.
Well, I hope to see you in the finals. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's see if we can speak to team boss and currently in third position in the intermediate standings. It's Matthias. Sorry to interrupt. You seem to be having a serious conversation. Are you making changes to the car?
Yeah, we have to do some setup changes. Actually all the weekend, because the track is changing all the time, so you have to be up on the game for every heat, and I mean it all falls down to be sorted for the final, which setup with one thing, tire strategy, so it's a lot up to have a think about.
The Audi and you seem very quick already here this weekend. What can you do to make sure you're in the semis?
Yeah, I think having the best setup is for sure one thing. Getting the starts a bit better is another thing. But then being smart enough and playing the correct strategy with tires, because in the end, I think here it's a lot about tires.
We were just looking at the tires and talking about them with Anton. Do you keep some back, or do you just use old tires?
I try to use them in a nice way, but still being aggressive, because the trick is once you try to be too smart and too fast, then you just burn them, so you have nothing left for when you really need good ones. So we are just discussing what to do on the car, so we are sorted when it really counts.
We'll leave you to it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Hello, my name's Andrew Coley. Joining me this weekend in the commentary box is David Finks, who of course raced here last year and earlier on this season at Liddon Hill. As always, Neil Cole will be reporting from the paddock. The first race of Heat 3 saw those who'd suffered yesterday taking part. Guy Wilkes missed both Heats 1 and 2. Muller got out of the Joker lap in front of his teammate Grosser Janin, took a very popular win. Max Pusher showed he's continued to learn to be on the pace of the World Championship regulars with a great start in his heat race ahead of Tamas Karai. Karai came out in traffic from the Joker lap but made a fantastic pass over the start-finish line to take a place back. But it was Max Pusher who took a comfortable win. It was a bundle down to turn 1 in race 3. Shanwan was hit and ran wide. Laboul then pushed him out into the gravel trap. He managed to stay on the track. Danielson ran wide in turn 2. Looked like he'd lost the lead. Was late and aggressive on the brakes and managed to hold the top spot and held it all the way to the flag. Topi Heikkinen made a fantastic start from the outside slot in his race. Got into turn 1 first and was clearly away from the rest of the field. In the background, Tord Linnerud, lucky not to roll the polo, got on the gas and dragged it out. Heikkinen with a very quick time. Anton Markland made a great start from the inside slot and held everybody off down into turn 1. He was untroubled for most of the race. Took a late Joker lap, but Manfred Stoll got tapped into a spin behind him, kept his foot on the gas, spanned the car round and made the finish, but no one could do anything about Markland. Absolutely massive crowd here already at Loheac. They were here about 7 o'clock this morning. Looking forward to this. Last couple of races to go in Heat 3. Liam Doran, Johan Kristoffersen, Davi Genet, PG Anderson and Andreas Bakkerud. Well, Doran and PG, we are hearing, are on new tyres. So differing strategies between the guys. You can hear the engine note drop there. Bang, into gear. Anti-lag on. Oh, another really, really long hot. Great start by Doran on the inside. Bakkerud's got a good run as well. Can Bakkerud carry the speed all the way around the outside? Doran gets a little tap from behind. Kristoffersen's going backwards. Bakkerud all the way out to the outside. I think Doran might have got back past him. He does. Liam Doran leads. Great job.
Fantastic start from Liam. nice and aggressive, the way we always see him. He's got the front. Oh, bit of contact there between
Backer and PG. Do you think Backer wanted to go into the Joker? He got tapped there, and I wonder if he didn't have any choice.
I think he might have been a bit unsure there. You know, it was either follow Durant in front of the lap and then do it on the next lap. PG give him a little bit turn, he's in. And Genet's out.
Oh, into the side. Backer's going to lose out here, out on the dirty track. They've watered it this morning. He's gone backwards, and Travis Ericsson's not going to be very pleased, is he?
It hasn't been a good first heat for the two OMC cars so far.
Through the right and then the left, and you can see the wet on the track. Luckily, pretty similar conditions through the whole heat. We haven't seen the times tumbling. The quickest one so far has been Heikkinen. Doran is out front. A lot of people in the paddock would like to see Liam get a good result. He's put a huge amount of effort into losing a hell of a lot of weight this year. And now maybe the same effort going into preparing the car. He's had loads and loads of little problems with it. I think people are keen to see him get a good result. I really do.
Yeah, Liam's always thereabouts, and it's always just, you know, the car lets him down at times, and he's worked so hard. He's always up the front when he can be, and he puts 150% passion into the sport, and that's what we need as drivers.
He also did the very best warm-up lap of the day this morning. All the Supercar drivers waiting until the
ran off wide on the gravel.
Oh, Liam, mistakes. That's going to cost Liam time.
Looks like a failure. No. Front suspension looks like the wheels are pointing different direction. Oh, it's back. Back suspension.
Rear suspension. Is it rear again then? That's what happened. Unbelievable.
Same one as yesterday.
What a shame. Commentators curse, I'm afraid, for Liam. I think that was Dave, his spotter and driver coach. I was just about to say Liam driving really nicely as well. Yeah, he was very aggressive on his warm-up lap this morning. Great bit of car control, crowd loved it, but that was a really smooth drive. One tiny mistake, and that's happened. Who's still to Joker then? Davy Genet and Christopherson out front. Now we need to focus on these guys. They've got PG in third place. PG giving it the big send in the background. Look how sideways he is, full rally start. Christopherson backs it in. Genet on the handbrake into the Joker. It's going to be a race down to the merge. Here's your money on David.
Well, I think Genet can still do this. PG, we've seen him all weekend. He's always broadside. Genet has been always so smooth. It's going to be really close. Genet should have the line out of this one.
Genet then in, nicely called David Binks around the left-hander. Genet's got the left and the right to go. The crowd are applauding all around us. There are French flags waving. They're all about to go mad. Massive cheer for Davy Genet. He takes the heat race win. You can see it in the background. Absolutely packed out here at Loheac. And that's what they want to see. A lot of pressure on the French driver with the French manufacturer. And can he withhold that pressure all day long? Liam Doran crosses the line. Oh, the rear end of the car is crippled. Suspension hanging off. He's made the finish again, but unfortunately, I think that's probably going to mean we're not going to see Liam in the semis. Such a shame. Davy Genet then with the win. PG Anderson second. Christopherson backward. Liam makes it to the finish despite that car breakage. Genet slots into fourth. Have to say, Heikkinen's time is looking really very good indeed. Off the start, wheel spin away, as always, 600 horsepower. PG in the background, look at that, lovely. Hangs back and then slots up the inside.
Yeah, waited for it, let the carnage happen, got up the inside and slotted into position.
Look at Doran's lead. Sorry, David, to interrupt. Doran's lead, this was backward getting nudged wide. He's so far out in front. I actually think if you look at the time that Genet did in that, I reckon Doran would have been on maybe to match Heikkinen. This is where he ran wide, look, over the gravel, and the rear end gave up.
Yeah, Heikkinen's ahead of everybody, you know, at the minute. He got a good start, he got out of problems. But this type of racing now, you know, if you're in the pack and everybody's actioning around, it's going to be a slow race.
Doran was out front, unfortunately couldn't capitalise this time. Instead, it was a popular win for Frenchman Davy Genet for Peugeot at home.
Eric, that was a very popular win for that heat with Davy Genet. How does he feel in the car? How's the car going?
The car is great, and yeah, it was a tough heat, some contact, and yeah, tough, but we managed to get through all the drama and finish first, so we're happy with that.
On then to the final heat race of Heat 3. Looking forward to this. Some very, very quick guys. Let's see the lineup. Timmy Hansen on the inside, Petter Solberg alongside him, Matthias Ekström, then Timosyanov, and local ace Duborg. Petter yesterday had two, let's say, incredible starts. Will he get another one today? Look at Timmy on board, gritting his teeth. You can see he gets himself so fired up to go. The three on the inside love to beat each other, let's just say. Flags flying high. Listen to the anti-lag on Solberg's car. He started his start procedure really early. Will he get the start early? This time he waits for the light, so he gets a better start than Hansen. I think he's going to shut the door. He does. Hansen slots into second place. Dubourg trying to come around the outside. He's in a good position for turn 2, but I think Hansen's going to get into second place through turn 2. Solberg just in front. Timazyanov splatters the camera with mud as he flies past out second position. Solberg then, where will Hansen go? Takes the standard lap, goes with him. I'm a little bit surprised. Ekstrom's gone straight into the Joker along with Timazyanov.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday, and Hansen followed Paddock for 3 laps before he took his Joker. Again, I would have thought it would have been best to take it on the first lap. Martin's done Ekstrom's done that, yeah. And you know, he's going to have a clear track. He's going to be able to catch up with these two as they're fighting ahead, which we saw all day yesterday.
Now, yesterday, when Timmy was behind Petty, he literally was nudging him in the rear bumper. It was drier conditions than this. I'm wondering if that suited him or the car maybe a little bit more, or is Petty just a bit more on it? I think as well, Petty, of course, has gone on new tyres here, and Hansen's on old ones.
Ah, correct, and that could give him a bit extra traction. We saw, you know, he pulled away off the start, and he pulled nearly 2 car lengths by the first corner, which was impressive.
On board now with Timmy Hansen, down the back straight, just a little dab on the brake. Bosch is it down a gear.
Timmy seems to be struggling there. Yeah, he seemed to be struggling with a lot, keeping the car in. He was having to put a lot on there, but it just didn't look balanced.
So still some damp patches out on the track. That looks like Kenneth Hansen up in the Spotters Tower, the Iron Spotters Tower. Over behind the fans.
There's definitely a difference between yesterday and today, the way the 2 cars are working together.
Look at the way that, well, of course, they haven't jokered yet, but they've still got a decent gap in. Dubourg is sitting in 3rd place, which is great by him. I think Timazyanov lost out when he went so sideways. The start Hansen into the Joker lap. Right, let's see where Hansen comes out. He comes out in front of Dubourg. This is a good bit of tactics. He won't mind coming in behind Petter. I think he's going to do it. So lovely, lovely Joker lap from Hansen. Aggressive over the curves as well. More aggressive than we would have seen from him in the past.
Yeah, Hansen's always been a very smooth driver through the corners. And you see that on the last corner there, and this one as well. He's always pinpoint accuracy, but there he had to push hard through the Joker lap, jump the curbs, get back out, hunt Petter down, so the Petter's under pressure now for this Joker lap.
Fastest lap of the day from Petter Solberg, 37.280. So he's on a flyer, but he's on brand new tyres. So we know Petter is on new ones. There's Perezman in the Spotters Tower. Look at that, over the jump, bangs it in, sideways into the Joker, probably sideways out, nicely on the brakes through, clearly out in front. Great job by Petter Solberg. Here he comes. Just got the 2 corners to go, the left and the right. The flames come from the exhaust. The world champion's on form. He's going to take the fight to Hansen today. Checker flag for Solberg. Hansen second, Dubourg third, Ekstrom and Timazyanov. Big applause from the crowd. If the kind of a Frenchman win, they'll take Hansen in a French car, won't they?
Definitely, as long as it's a French motor car on the front, that's fine.
Petter Solberg with the fastest time of the weekend so far. Very, very good indeed. Timmy Hansen second, Dubourg third, Ekstrom is fourth, and Timazyanov in 5th. Here's where they start in. So Solberg and Hansen going quicker than Hakkinen. Hakkinen, though, was a very, very impressive time. And in fact, Dubourg and Ekstrom have done well there too. But that is a very, very impressive time from Petter Solberg. He takes heat 3. Away from the line. Definitely a more normal start today, David.
Yeah, that one looked very, very fair across the board. Petter's had a talk with himself overnight. You can see that he's come out today and he's fighting hard. He's not going to be happy with 2nd place today.
He's won heat 3. Hansen won heats 1 and 2. He was overnight leader Hansen for the 4th time in a row, and this would be his 3rd TQ in a row if he can do it here. But Solberg is now looking dangerous. It's going to be a great race for the rest of the day.
Yesterday it looked like Timmy Hansen had the pace on Petter. Today Petter was much quicker.
Yeah, what should I say? 2 last races we had a bit of a struggle. Also yesterday, like you said, Timmy was a little bit more on the pace. We had some small issues with the car. Couldn't get into gear and something with gear shift, so we changed a lot of parts last night. We also wasn't really happy with the setup. It was good, but it wasn't the perfect one. So we did a little bit drastic setup change, and I think we hit the spot now. So today we're gonna nail it, and we are hungry for a good result.
Well, here's a look back at some really stunning slow motion imagery. We can have a look at some of the cars as they come through turn 2 at Loheac's RX track. So this, one of the Citroens, Huge compression there. David Binks, who drove the track here last year, and these compressions, particularly between turns 1 and 2, are actually much more pronounced than they look.
Yeah, Andrew, literally as you're coming off the tarmac, the car's compressing right down in suspension. As the day goes on, that's going to get worse and worse, because literally every car going in there is going to cut a little bit more out. But a lot of the drivers use it to their advantage, turning the car on the compression and suspension, and as it comes light, letting that rotate it. You saw Shishirit there, lots of understeer into turn 2, and that's going to, again, be a bit of a line for some drivers. You'll see some of the smoother drivers doing it, but you'll watch other cars that'll come through and actually have the nose on the curbs.
Give the car the big send. Rainis Nitish in the OMSC Ford, just where he's coming through now at the transition point between the two. We saw a hole start to appear yesterday in the track. Spoke to the French organiser, and they've done a lot of work to prepare this place. It's looking absolutely stunning. Now we're looking at Larson coming off turn 1. Look at the compression there again. But Larson's driving style, in a minute, look for the nose dipping, David, and he hits the brake really hard here. Yeah,
he's just done literally rotating the car early. He's got the car round, the front end's on the curbs, and he's going to have a straight line down into turn 3. Now that's the difference between an understeering car and a car that may be understeering, but he's using the rotation to get the car on the line. Nice and neutral. A little bit of opposite lock on the exit. A lot of the drivers saying just how slippery it was during free practice. They'd wet the track significantly. They'd put some salt down as well the day before. Now this is somewhere else. This is the curbs through the Joker lap. Now it's crucial to get a quick Joker lap here. We think the difference is something like 1.3 seconds if you get it right. And we can see here that was Grosset Janin riding the curbs. We've seen some very aggressive lines through here. Watch the deflection on some of the tyres. You know, this is something the drivers have got to be a little bit careful of. We did see a couple of punches, and that could be due to this. But utilising the Peugeot 208 there through the curbs, and look at that. He's used all the curbs, both sides. It's a quick line, but it can go wrong if they were to get a puncher. Big wall on the outside. You cannot afford to run wide. Hansen absolutely on a flyer, looking so comfortable in that car, and able to use every inch of the road. Shishirit in the Mini. Lifts the front left wheel and then flicks the car round to the right. Not the brake that we saw from Hansen in the middle of the corner, but a great look at how he can use the curbs on either side of the road and just managed to get that super fast Joker lap.
On then to Heat 4. Liam Doran was in the first heat race after the disaster of the broken suspension in Heat 3. He got away first and was on an absolute flyer. Managed to set a time that would have been good enough for second place in Heat 3. Manfred Stoll gave Tord Linnerud the squeeze on the way down to turn 1. Linnerud wasn't having it and pushed Stoll off before turn 2. Got a warning for that from the stewards. Here you can see Linnerud deliberately turning to the left, pushing Stoll wide, and that is not allowed. Stoll unfortunately lost out as well to fellow ex-WRC man Francois Duval, while Linnerud took the win. Heat 4, race 3. Andreas Backerud and Rainis Nitish, teammates side by side on the inside. Then it's Napik and Mark Laboul with Tamas Karai taking slot 5. Wouldn't normally expect to see Backerud and Nitish in a relatively low heat race, but not having the best weekend. Just looking from the commentary box window, could see them clutching in, pulling first gear, handbrake on. Great start by Backerud on the inside line. Nitish goes with him. They need to avoid each other in turn 1. That's Laboul who went into the side of Nitish. Backerud's going to get this, and I think Nitish is going to end up second. He nearly runs wide. Laboul up the inside to take the third place stop. The two MSC cars away. David Binks go together or split the strategy?
I think they'll go together. I think they'll try and protect each other.
You're right. Now, they often do that. Now, we see some teams prefer to split the strategies, but these two guys, Laboul sideways, made a mistake over the jump, runs a little bit wide in the Joker lap. You can see there he will have lost a bit of time, but they run together quite well, these two.
They do. They're both good friends off track as well, and, you know, they both got very good driving styles. Now for OMSC is to get a good quick time in, and that is having no pressure on the two cars. So if they've both got nose to tail, good race, and then Joker at the end.
Andreas Backerud leading at the moment through the bump. That pushes him a little bit wide, but Backerud is currently sitting in 9th place, so he's well in the semis, whereas Rainis Nitish is down in 17th, and we know he's actually not feeling on top form. He raced in the British Rallycross Championship last weekend. actually raced against him. He thrashed me, naturally, even though he had a cold. So he didn't feel well, and he still beat me easily, obviously. But we believe he's not feeling too sharp here either. So maybe not on top form physically, and that will affect the way he drives. These cars are very physical to drive, aren't they, David?
They are. The G-forces on the acceleration and the braking, you know, they're throwing these around. It's very aggressive. You can see that from how the car's pitching and roll and the braking. And there's some big bumps there. You see, that's actually getting worse and worse in the turn 2. I noticed that earlier on. It's getting worse.
It's starting to make a difference when the car's transitioning. We saw backward. He hits it at the wrong moment. The car goes light and it just runs wide.
Literally can launch you into the dirt. Oh, they have. They've split.
So backward's gone into the Joker lap from the lead. Fantastic pace through there. We saw him give it the big send yesterday on the Joker lap exit. Look at that. Nearly manages to come out on the same pace. That's fantastic speed from him. Nitish is super sideways into the last corner. And they'll want Nitish out of the way. They're on to the final lap, so Nitish is going to Joker anyway. But backward looks to have the better of him on pace this weekend.
He does. Backward looks not just marginally, mind. They're both very, very quick. But backward's definitely back underneath us there. We did notice it's only 1.2 seconds in that Joker lap. So, you know, Nitish could come back out and should come back out behind backward.
Here we go, then backward released hard on the gas. The remainder of the field goes through the Joker. Here's Nitish, pops up over the curve on the left and then on the right. Opens the throttle up, but look at backward around the outside, clearly in front. So the Norwegian youngster, good effort. Round to the left and then the right. Him and Nitish, though, this is going to be a good time, hopefully, by both of them. Could we see Nitish scrape his way through? It would be nice. Backward over the line, teammate Nitish next. And then it's Labul, Karai and Napik. 2:38.0 is 2 seconds off the pace of Liam Doran and 2 seconds off the pace of the leaders in the previous heat. There it is, confirmation of the result. Backward from Nitish, Labul, Karai and Napik. Where do they slot in? Liam is out front by 2 seconds. It's a shame. I really would love to see Liam in the semis, but the pace is there, maybe later in the year. From the start, you could see the two teammates here managed to protect each other quite well, even with Labul coming across and tapping in the side of Nitish there. Nitish gave Backward room on the inside.
Yeah, Backward was marginally quicker. Nitish defended the line for him, you know, both cars got through. It's a perfect start.
Do you think maybe they would have said before that Backward has to go first?
Yeah, you know, he's a higher car, so definitely.
Good job by Backward and Nitish, and teammates working together.
Andreas, that looked relatively easy and you worked well together with Rennes.
I don't hear you, but yeah, it's been a tough weekend. We need more speed, but I enjoy so much driving, and I mean, it's such a fun track with all the crowd here. It's just amazing. So I'll be flat out going through the semi-final. I think I'm in that. So I will push hard and give it all, and hopefully come to the final. Yeah.
Thank you, Tack.
Thank you.
Race 4, Heat 4 on the line. Fabian Paillet, Guy Wilkes, who we've heard is on new tyres, Max Pusher in the middle, Jonathan Paillet, so both the Paillets in there, and the second Mini as well, Gulan Shishirit. So the Minis need to avoid each other, as do the Paillets. Green flag at the back of the grid, looking for one from the front, and we get this race underway. Who's going to go away from the line first? The Minis can be fast. That was very, very even across. Shishirit is going backwards. Guy Wilkes looking at Skinner slight to second. Oh, big contact. Wilkes gets fired off. Those brand new tyres. It's been an absolute disaster of a weekend for Guy Wilkes. What a shame out front. Pusher is in second place, but it's Shishirit in the second Mini, who looked like he'd gone backwards, but had space at the start.
I don't know where Shishirit came from there. I thought Butcher had it in the first corner, but it was an exciting... Oh, back suspension broken on Wilkes' car. That's obviously off the contact. That's a real shame for them.
It's the complete opposite of Guy's Lydden Hill weekend. He was in the final in Lydden Hill and he showed fantastic pace in free practice here. Saturday morning he was 7th quickest from 37 supercars. Don't forget these cars are still running the 1.6 litre engine, so not as big as the other cars. They do get a 90 kilo weight benefit for that. But that will change next year. They've got to be the same weight as the other cars, so they're going to run a 2 litre engine. Then car is in development. Shishirit up front. This has been his debut weekend of the World Rallycross Championship. He's currently sitting in 21st. David, he'd need a mega result here, wouldn't he?
It would have to be a miracle, Andrew. You know, it's great to see the JR Minis, the chassis so good that, yes, they're down on power and they've got a little bit of a weight advantage, but they're a really good chassis and it'll come.
That was Paillet, Jonathan, with the damage through the Joker lap. Again, I assume from that incident in turn 1. Shishirit slides past the stricken Mini of his teammate Wilkes. Pusha following him, and Pusha again showing pretty good pace. You went and had a chat with him, and he seems quite pleased.
He did. He's very confident today. You know, he's after a steady result. He's not after anything amazing. He just wants another heat like he did in the third heat, and we're seeing that. He's driving the car confidently. It's smooth. He's on the pace. He's on the line. So it's great to see from Max.
Shishirit gives it the big send through the Joker lap. Nicely done through the chicane. Everybody's jokered. Shishirit's going to come out in front. So I wonder if we might see what sort of pace the Mini has got today. It looked like they were suffering from understeer early on yesterday, but the track was very, very wet to try and keep the dust down for free practice. As it went on, the time really tumbled.
They did. Shishirit there's just changed. I don't know if you noticed on the last corner. It was very understeery this morning, but he's actually got the car rotated. He's got a bit of a slide going on, which is what a lot of the local guys are doing.
So Shishirit may be having a look at what some of the other drivers. Black flag for Gulan Shishirit. We're in a black flag for Shishirit. Now, is that from the turn 1 contact? So we think then, turn 1 possibly Shishirit caused the problem. Black flag now is a bit late and irrelevant really because he's on the last lap, but that will mean that the time doesn't stand. Let's have a look and see what it was like anyway. Shishirit 2:38.6, not bad, a couple of seconds off Liam's pace, but that won't count. So the winner will be Pusha, who of course won his heat race last time out. So Shishirit then may have caused the carnage, which took Guy Wilkes off, and such a shame for Guy. Fabian Paye comes round towards the finish line. Shishirit there in the middle of your screen will be disqualified from this one. It's a shame for the Frenchman. He's coming again. I think he's coming to Italy later in the year. So he's had his first taste of rallycross, and it's a very different circuit there. Max Pusha takes the win from Jonathan Paye and Fabian Paye. Guy Wilkes with a DNF and Shishirit with a DSQ, disqualified. All off the front page, so not a fast race. I think we knew that after the incident. We're going to have a look at the replays in just a short moment, and we might get a look and see just what happened in turn 1. Enormous wheel spin from Guy on the start line there. Somehow he managed to hold it on the line. Watch Shishirit. I'm not sure that's Shishirit's fault.
That was just a touch. You know, I can't see how that could be claimed as...
Personally, I mean, I wasn't sure that it wasn't Paye that moved across on him. Look at that, though. Oh,
such
Wilkes.
a sad day.
It is. It's a rotten weekend for him. Stoll took the flag. And unfortunately, Guy Wilkes will be going home not as pleased as he was in Lytton Hill.
Gerlan, it was good to see you at the pace, but it sounds like you've been disqualified. Talk us through what happened.
Sorry?
It sounds like you've been disqualified for the incident with Guy in the first corner.
I don't know, but I didn't push anyone, so it's not me, for sure not. So we'll see. I just did my race, and it doesn't matter. I had really good fun. I tried to push, but I didn't touch anyone, so I cannot be me. So I have to watch again the video, I think.
Well, a couple of guys who need a good result here. On to Heat 4, Race 5. Alex Danielson currently 13th, Timothy Mazyanov, Grosjean currently 15th, Serazan and Johan Kristoffersen. Kristoffersen is on new tyres and is currently sitting 4th. So what time will he do here? When Petter took new tyres, he set the fastest time of the weekend. Kristoffersen will give us a good idea of if that's going to happen to anybody else as well. Great start, Timazyanov, an absolute rocket of a start. Kristoffersen's going to try and go all the way around the outside. I think Kristoffersen is going to be in the lead. Oh, gets attacked from Timazyanov. Timazyanov now up the inside, but Kristoffersen somehow holds on in the polo. Timazyanov following him.
Timazyanov was open. I think it was going to open the door for him to slide down.
Danielson pushed sideways, and I think really that was only saved by hitting Grosjean in.
Yeah, Grosjean kept him on the track and made him a perfect lane for the Joker lap.
So bang on for Danielson, then worked out all right in the end. Danielson threw the Joker. That maybe didn't want to go there in the first place, but yeah, Timazyanov, a little bit of a tap into turn 2.
A little bit of a tap, a little kiss.
Nothing too serious. Kristoffersen now out front. Will be keen to make the most of those new boots. I love the run there from the last corner to the first corner. Really is one continuous sweeping arc.
If you watch some of the cars, they never straighten up from coming out of the last turn to the first turn. It's very impressive. Just kissing the white line on their outside before the gravel trap.
We saw Petter yesterday, or actually this morning in free practice, use a little bit of the gravel trap on the outside. Super accuracy. And the world champion, as you would expect, just hooked a wheel in the gravel, give himself a bit of action. Look how accurate Timmer is down that wall as well, leaving himself no margin for error.
That's it. If one a little bit extra grip than you're expecting, you're very quickly going to run that concrete wall.
We saw Davy Genet, when he was so fast in the S3, clip the piece of arm coat on the last corner there several times. When it's super slow-mo, you can see him just brush it, and that's how confident these guys are in the size of the car, and that comes with a bit of seat time as well.
It does, Andrew. You know, they've got
Christopherson
it in there. That's fantastic car control again. But yeah, you know, the more miles they're doing in the car, the quicker they're getting, the more confident in everything the car's going to do. And that comes with time and experience, and the fact that they're all world championship drivers.
Christopherson leading from Timosyanov. Christopherson, I've not seen him take that line at the bottom before. It's almost like someone said Joker and then they went, no, actually don't. But he straightened it out and managed to carry the speed through. We've seen some brilliant drive from him. He hasn't challenged as we thought he might after taking the win in Portugal. He was right there with Petter for a long time, and then just little things here and there. Petter didn't have problems, others did, and they've got away. But there we are, Christopherson, fastest lap of the day, so the new boot's definitely making a difference.
Definitely, the track's quickening up from this morning. There doesn't seem to be any damp patches, and you know, the KMS Polos, they're a quick car, they really are, and when they've got them dialed in, like you said before, they've been off the pace for the last few races, but it shows today they're on it.
Christopherson, as we said, was in 4th place. He's going to come around this last right-hander. At the minute, the leading time from Doran is 2:36.1. Let's see what he gets. Time screen shows a 2:34.9, and Timosyanov with a 2:35.9. Second fastest time of the weekend. So very, very quick indeed. Good drive, Christopherson, making the most of those brand new tyres. There it is. 2:34.9, Timosyanov second, Grosjean third, Danielson fourth, Sarrazin fifth, and they're all on the first page, so the track definitely getting just a little bit quicker. Away from the line, Timosyanov got a good start, as we say, and on the outside, Christopherson as well.
Yeah, we saw this all day. You know, from that outside line, they're getting a great run through. To be honest, I don't think it was a push. He was just there when Christopherson came back across. So, you know, all credit to Timo there.
Danielson there, I don't know if he lost it on the brakes, but really lucky. I say the Grosjean was there and just clattered into him and managed to straighten the car out. Look at this from Christopherson as well.
I tend to agree with you. I think he was going to go for the joke and then change his mind, but that was a good run.
Lovely piece of car control either way.
Clipping the curbs again, that's just beautiful driving.
That's what we want to see. Over the line. Fantastic job by Christopherson. A bit of contact there in the background. Great racing. We've got a couple still to come.
Johan, fantastic drive there. Very quick time. What made the difference?
I don't know. I had a clean round and I was I had to have a good result, and I was pushing really hard. Unfortunately, I think I broke something in the front in the third lap, which made me very slow on the last end of the third lap and on the fourth lap. But I think they told on the radio it was a good time, and I hope that it's gonna stay for a really good time for the fourth heat to keep me on the front line in the semi-finals. That's my goal.
So try and get on the front in the semi-finals. Can we see another win from you today?
Yeah, definitely. If I'm on the front row in the semi-final, you can bet that I will at least try very hard to score the first place.
Thanks,
thank you.
Loheac sees the return of the FIA European Super 1600 class for round 5 of 7 of the series. Yanis Baumanis leads the championship by a clear margin on 100 points, with 2 victories to his name so far this season.
I think the key of the championship, get on the championship title, is that to win this race or get a more maximum points. 25 points is like, it's enough for the leading the championship, but still we have to fight for it. So it will definitely not be easy. And this track, where you have 30 competitors together and a lot of good friends, guys, and of course all these 14 competitors who is doing all the European Championship is tough. So I'm looking forward to get maximum points what I can get, and I like this track. It's really fast, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Christian Szabo is second in the standings and will need a good result here if he is to close the 25-point deficit to Baumanis. But he will also need to keep an eye on Nikita Misiulia and Ulrich Linnemann, who are in joint third position, just 1 point behind.
I have to be fast early from the beginning of the race until the last lap of the final. And in the first 3 races I was in the final with let's say good results, but I was slow in the heat, during the heat. But last weekend in Loheac I was fast during the heat and not the best results in the semi-final and final, so I have to combine them. Then I it's able to win it, but it's gonna be hard because 25 points is not so little. So the previous tracks I've never been, so they were really new for me, but I've tested it here, so I get familiar with it a little, and it's really fast. It's a nice track.
For me, it's I think every track suits for me because I like to drive, and that's why I'm race car driver. So, but this track definitely, they have almost only one line all the lap long, and it's really fast. Only 39 seconds approximately is the lap, and it's really nice to drive it. And also the atmosphere in here, it's enormous. More than 70,000 people watched in live last year. So it's one of the main things what you can get here is the atmosphere. Okay. I can feel a little bit pressure from the other guys who have won the races previously. So of course they are really fast, and I also am fast because I have won 2 races out of 4, and other ones are different drivers. So it shows that the competition is tough, and it's not easy to win the race. But as I said, I'm looking forward to get more points.
An absolutely massive crowd here at Loheac, waiting to see the final 10 drivers over the last 2 heat races of Heat 4 battle it out for their qualifying positions. Robin Larsson, Anton Markland, Davy Genet, Per Gunnar Andersson and Ivan Muller. Muller, 16th place. Can he make it through to the top 12? We'd love to see him make it through to the semi-finals. They all reach down, flick the switches on the dashboard, handbrakes on and into gear. Really long holding the lights. Great start, Larsson on the inside, but a good start from Muller on the outside too. Genet moves across and shuts the door. And it's Genet side by side with Larsson. Larsson pushes Genet into the gravel. I think he's going to take it. PG comes through to second place. Contact in the background. Markin's getting pushed wide. We're on board with Markin now. Genet gives him a tap as well. Big tank stepper from Markin. He ends up down in 5th place. And there's contact between all of them. Genet pushed wide. Genet with a half spin. Markin gets past him. I don't know whether Genet even wanted to go into the Joker lap.
No, I think with a touch with Muller there, he was straight. He had to go. There was only one way to go, and that was where he went.
So loads and loads of contact, but I think fair too. It was nice through turns 1, 2, and then down the end there, they all compressed into each other. You could see it was almost, they were running in a train like they'd been glued together.
Every single one of them was touching. It was just being a quick start, everybody was together.
Ivan Muller in 3rd place, showing he's got the pace of these guys. Look at that, gives it the big send. Muller yesterday, we noticed, wasn't transitioning between some of the corners, and with just that little bit more seat time, he's now able to do it.
Yeah, we were talking to Albertech this morning, and they said he's feeling more and more confident as we get on the cars. It's his first time at this track as well to drive these cars, and for the limited seat time, you can tell how good a driver and why he is who he is.
PG and Muller go through the Joker lap. Muller's going to get eaten by Anton if he's not careful. Muller sideways around the outside. He's going to be on the inside for this one. Nice piece of racecraft. Ivan Muller can mark and get the gas on and undercut him on the exit. I don't think he can, so Muller loses time, but crucially not opposition. Leaves himself with some track space in front. PG Anderson through that big hole. Muller as well. You can see the cars hopping through there. But out front, it is Robin Larsson who still has the Joker on board with Markland. Look at that. Look at Ivan moving the car around on the brakes and setting up a little bit too sideways.
Yeah, it looked like he was actually using the loose stuff on the edge of the tarmac there just to actually make the car rotate and get it in for him. He's pulling up the gears, and look at this. We can see how close their cars are getting to the wall. Look at Muller's tyre pointing at the concrete wall as he's pushing through. And this is where I said you've got to have some patience. And look how it's paid off for Genet.
Muller again running a little bit wide. It's Larsson who comes into the right-hander over the line. And Genet, of course, with that little half spin, is running at the back here, but he hasn't seemed to lose too much time, and Genet was comfortably qualifying in 5th place. We'll maybe see him move down a little bit. Of course, they all want a good position for the semi-finals. What can Larsson do? Larsson through the right-hander, over the jump, takes the curb on the left, then on the right. This is crucial now. PG's on a flyer around the outside. Is PG Anderson going to get him at the merge? I think he is. Anderson's going to go into the last corners first. Does he run wide? Larsson up the inside. Anderson almost with a spin, so sideways on the gas, just holds on. Larsson holds on to the lead, comes around the last corner. Robin Larsson takes it. PG hangs on for second with a mega bit of car control. Anton Markland and then Muller with him as well. Great try by them. Davy Genet a little bit further back. I wonder if Genet had a problem on that last lap, but the crowd very entertained by that, as was I. Puncture for Genet. Front left puncture for Genet. That's where he lost the time. No problem though. Late in the race, I would say, for Genet. Robin Larsson with the win. There's P.G. Anderson, Markland, Muller and Genet with that puncture. And Larson goes fourth quickest, so not the quickest time. A fair bit of squabbling in that one has maybe cost them. We can have another look at the start here. So there was a tiny bit of contact there with Genet. Genet then managing to shut the door on Markland. Larson takes his line, doesn't really push him too far wide. This was on board with Markland, and there, another tap, and look at this. Does well to hold on.
He does, and then if you look there, Muller gets a little tap, and then he taps Genet. You know, it's what happens in these close races.
This was Muller doing his best to stay in front of Markland, and actually, great job. Look at that lovely
Car
transition.
control.
Yeah, mega. And also just awareness of where Markland was, managed to hold him off. On board again, that's looking at the same instant with Muller, so Muller up the inside, and here was the merge. Watch P.G. Anderson here, lights it up to try and carry the pace through, can't quite hold on, but one of the pieces of car control of the weekend, without a shadow of a doubt. And podium finisher Larson in Norway takes a heat race win here.
Robin, you really stamped your authority on that race, especially in those last few corners.
Yeah, I missed the joke lap totally, so... But I saw PG got a lot of more speed in the next corner, so I just took him in inside. So it was really good to take a victory here in the last heat, and we had a really solid day here, day 2. So not a good day yesterday, but I think we're in semi-finals now. So now it's time to bring the fight face in.
On to the final heat race then of Heat 4. Petter Solberg, the world champion, next to Timmy Hansen, winning last time out in Norway. Topi Heikkinen in third place. Great heat time from him last time out. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, brilliant performance from him this weekend, and Matthias Ekström. Well, who's your money on here? Heikkinen was very fast. They're all on old tyres, which means that Hansen, I think, has got a brand new set safe for the semi-finals. What can he do here? Mega start by Heikkinen in the middle. Solberg and Hansen side by side down to turn 1. Heikkinen shuts the door on Hansen. Hansen wisely backs out of it. Solberg's in third place. Hansen looks like he's going to come across. Ekström's managed to make it up into second. So Hansen now on the inside of Solberg for the run down to the end of the straight. We've got Heikkinen, Ekström. Solberg's going to have to slot in, and Dubourg is at the back. Who's going to joker on lap 1? Solberg straight to the joker lap, and Dubourg goes with him.
If you watch that start there, Andrew, every single one of them was very cautious. They were fast, but not one of them wanted to put themselves out because they know it was the game over. So that was some excellent driving by the guys.
We often see this, don't we, in the final race, because they all know they're doing well already. They're not maybe desperate to get that one extra result. They're relatively sensible in rallycross.
As sensible as rallycross drivers get. But, you know, on board there now with Timmy, and he's smooth, he's going to take time. He knows he can do it. It's going to be tough to win, but like you said before, it's all about the time now, getting this last 4th heat done and getting into semis.
We're hearing that Petter Solberg has had a warning, so that's just a bit of contact that the stewards weren't happy with. He said he was going to give a little bit more contact because he felt he was getting a bit more at the other end. Ekström misses the apex on the inside of the joker lap. He has taken his joker and he falls behind. All contact between Ekström and Petter. If Petter's not careful here, he's going to get told off again. He's already had one warning. So Ekström and Petter Solberg in a decent fight. Both the front two still need to joker, and Ekström's right with them, but we know how close it's Hansen. Look at the rear end of the car through that compression.
He had no trouble left in his suspension there, Andrew. He literally bounced the car airborne, and that's going to be worrying. He's right on him now.
Oh, I think Hansen was going to go then, and then he saw Heikkinen go, and he's decided not to. So Heikkinen in the joker lap, where's he going to come out? Look at the curves on both sides, nicely done by him. I think he's going to lose out though. Solberg again, was that contact with Ekström again? Because if it was, they both managed to get past Heikkinen. I'm not sure. Now Hansen's the only one left to joker, and I don't know if he's got enough time.
I think it was a bit of a shame there, the fact that he got held up behind the VW. It literally pushed him back into the grips of the other cars. But if Timmy can do it, he'll put his foot down now. He's got to be super slick. We saw that Petter this morning was the quickest through. They overlapped by 200ths of a second from Hansen, but Hansen's got to turn around now and be the quickest.
So Hansen needs an absolutely perfect joker lap here. Can he do it? A tiny bit of handbrake. Look at that. He's so smooth, Hansen is, and tidy. Going to come down to this for who's going to take Heat 4. It could be down to who's going to get TQ overall. Solberg and Ekström are still fighting out around the outside. Hansen's going to come in alongside those two. But I think they're going to be in front of him. Hansen slots into third place. Ekström's going to take this race, but is it going to be a quick time or not? Ekström around the right-hander. Solberg with him. Look how close they are over the line. Ekström, Solberg, Hansen, Heikkinen, Dubourg, absolutely together. A very, very impressive final heat race here in Loheac. qualifying is done, and in a minute we'll be able to find out who's made it through to the semi-finals and who's been super fast. Matthias Ekström, 2:36.5, then it's Solberg, Hansen, Heikkinen and Jean-Baptiste Dubourg. And where do they go? So Kristoffersen, Timosjanov and Doran were all faster than those guys. Hansen with a 6th, Solberg with a 5th. I think Solberg might go TQ as a result of that. I'm trying to do maths in my head, renowned for not being very good at it. Heikkinen 8th, and Heikkinen 7th, Larsen 8th. Away from the line, look at this great start, Heikkinen.
Probably the best start of the weekend for Heikkinen there. He literally pulled away from all of them. But there you watch behind, not one of those made contact in turn 1 or turn 2. It was great driving. But this, where we talk again, a little bit of contact between them, and whether that was really pushing, I don't know. That was, you know...
Maybe didn't have a lot of choice the way Ekström was sideways in front of him in the road. So Ekström and Solberg continued to battle. Heikkinen slotted in behind them, and that's pretty much what happened to Hansen then on the final lap. Nice joker lap from him. But Hansen slotting into 3rd place behind Ekström and Solberg. And 5 of the fastest drivers here this weekend over the line, super close together.
Matthias, that was certainly a busy race, but you came out in front in the end.
Yeah, I had a good start, good first corner, but it's so exciting to drive here because it's so close every lap, and I think I enjoyed myself big time yesterday and today, so yeah, let's see what happens next.
So the front guys all saying then that it's fair in love and war. It was a decent heat race, and let's see where it makes them stand after qualifying. So Timmy Hansen goes TQ, then Solberg is 2nd, I was wrong, Ekström 3rd, Kristoffersen 4th, Dubourg is the top Frenchman, Topi Heikkinen, Baccarat in 7th, Robin Larsen is 8th, Markman 9th, Timosjanov in 10th, David Genet just makes it in, as does Gaetan Sarazan. Anderson is out, Grosjean doesn't make it, Danielson and Nittish as well. And we can see Van Muller hasn't made it either. Into the semi-final split. Odd numbers go to semi-final 1, evens go to semi-final 2. So it's Hansen in the first one and Solberg in the second, with Kristoffersen and Ekström alongside them in each of those semi-finals. It's going to be fantastic.
It was great to watch you drive here at Loheac, and when it's going well, it's really, really quick. Talk us through this weekend.
Yeah, it was going well. I mean, until we had a problem in Heat 1, and that put us right on the back foot. You know, right back, like out of the top 25, I think, and bucked our ideas up and went 6th fastest yesterday, which I was happy with. It was a conservative drive, and I didn't expect it to be that fast, but it was good enough. And then this morning, time to push a little bit harder. I had a good car and felt good and felt like I had good speed, so was winning. Probably would have been on for like a top 2, top 3 time, and then the rear wheel decided to come off, the rear suspension decided to come off, and went back out in the 4 feet with nothing to lose. I didn't push too hard because I wanted to get a good time and set 3rd fastest time, so I can do it. Probably would have been 2nd or 3rd in Heat 3, and if that hadn't come off, then I'd probably be top 5, top 6 now in the semi-finals. But what can you do? I'm trying my hardest, and the team are doing a great job trying with the car, and track's pretty rough, so that's the reason why it broke, but no one else is broke, so there's no excuse,
When do you think your luck's going to change? Because I think you deserve a break this year.
Yeah, I feel like I deserve a break as well, but someone doesn't think so yet, I think. So I'm going to keep trying. I can't give up yet. I know I can do it. It's proven another point this weekend, that I can do it, and the car's good enough, but I need to catch a break, and we just got to work harder. We're already working hard enough, but we've got to try and work harder and fix the problems we're having, and we've got 3 or 4 more chances left, right? So why give up yet?
Good one. See you next time. Thanks, Liam. So if we come over here, we can see Petter Solberg seems to be having a quick lunch, talking through the technical aspects of the car as it prepares for semi-final 2. Petter, sorry, if we can just interrupt what looks like breakfast, but it's clearly lunch. I noticed you looking at the car earlier. How is everything for semi-final?
I feel good. It's like yesterday we had a gearbox problem. It was not right for two hits. Today it's okay, and now we broke top mount. So yeah, it's quite rough out there in one corner, and it's easy to destroy the car. But generally, I'm very happy. So fastest heat and things like that is important, and pole position now. So that's good.
But now we know you're in pole for your semi-final. Obviously, your attitude's changed slightly, but you're still a very fair driver. Quickly, just give us a word. What's your attitude to the other drivers around you here in Loheac?
No, I think in the last few races they have been pushing very hard. Timmy yesterday also pushed me into the hairpin right and pushed me out. And at the end of the day, one day I will get back and push them. So I like fair and square driving. Professional drivers should do that,
It has been a brilliant weekend so far here in Loheac, northern France, for round 9 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, and we're looking forward to the semi-finals and the final as always. What a season we've had so far. We're getting towards the end of it. France, round 9. Just 4 more to go after this. Is Peter Solberg going to extend that lead, or is he going to be put under more pressure as we approach the end of the season? There's where we are, northwest France. A very, very popular sport here, as you can see from the absolutely massive crowd that we've got in today watching the action. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me is David Binks, who of course competed here last year with Albertech Racing. Look at this, David. Neil Cole reporting for the pits as always, but a brilliant, brilliant atmosphere.
What a great bunch of fans the French are, and they've just been absolutely jumping all weekend. It's great to see. All the banks are covered.
They've been applauding everyone, but particularly the French drivers. So absolutely fantastic stuff. Very much looking forward to the semi-finals as always. Now, Neil Cole earlier on managed to have a catch-up with Johan Kristoffersen. He's in semi-final number 2. So let's have a listen to what Johan had to say.
Johan, it's great to see you. You're getting ready for semi-final 2. What is the plan from the front row?
First of all, we tried to make a good start. I mean, I had a really good lap times in the 4th heat. We did some changes and it felt really great in the 4th heat. So try to do a very good start, and hopefully I can beat Peter in the first corner. And then from there, I mean, if I'm P1 or P2, I will just try to push as crazy and really so much want to get to the final now. So yeah, that's the plan for the semi-final.
And just quickly, talk us through what this circuit is like when you're fully in attack.
It's difficult. It's really nice. It's like a circuit racing track. Good grip all over the place and quite flat. So, but you have to be very aggressive on some places and really smooth on some others. So it's quite different, but really nice.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Johan excited about the semi-finals. No surprise, he qualified 4th here. That's his best qualifying since the UK. We can have a look back at just how the drivers have ended up where they are. Liam Doran then on day 1 opened up with this fantastic move around the outside. He was leading and then unfortunately he broke his suspension. So disappointment for him. This was Timosyanov and Heikkinen coming together. Timosyanov race ended there in the wall. But Timmy Hansen was absolutely flat out. Looked like it was easy. He won Heat 1 overall. Ivan Muller's here this weekend, of course, multiple World Touring Car champion. He met Topi Heikkinen, who spun him round the wrong way, and unfortunately Muller won't make it through to the semi-finals. What a start from Peter Solberg. Did he guess the lights? We weren't sure. Either way, Timmy Hansen was faster, and when the jokers played out, he still came out in front. Peter, not too impressed. On to this morning, Liam Doran. Big contact in the first corner. He then went off on a fly. He was up for a fantastic time, and then unfortunately, a problem again with the car. This was backward, being pushed wide by David Genet. And here's Liam, same corner as yesterday, into the gravel, another rear-end suspension breakage. So Liam looking like he had the pace, but hasn't got the luck. Genet taking the win there, that was popular with the crowd. Peter Solberg, very, very fast indeed. He put new boots on for Heat 3. He changed his setup drastically, and he won Heat 3 overall. Liam Doran into Heat 4 showed what might have been. He set an absolutely storming heat race time, and that would have been good enough for second in Heat 3. This was the carnage which happened in Heat 4. Poor old Guy Wilkes fired off, His teammate Gulan Shisharik was disqualified for that, adjudged to have had a bit too much contact before turn 1. Johan Kristoffersen won Heat 4. These were the top boys. In fact, this is Genet being spun round, viewed from Anton Markman's car. Robin Larsen took that win. These are the really quick guys, and look how they managed to avoid each other down in turn 1. No problem, close merges, a little bit of contact here and there. They slowed themselves down, and that's probably how Kristoffersen managed to take the win, but this was Hansen coming out into 3rd place. Having taken those 2 heat wins yesterday, Solberg took 1, and then he ended up in that position, which puts him TQ at the front of semi-final number 1, with Petter Solberg at the front of semi-final number 2. Looking forward to seeing how they play out. Beautiful scenery here in northern France. Enormous crowd. We had 74,000 here last year. We'll try and find out how many are here this time round. Now we can tell you what we're going to do for the next hour. Stay with us. First of all, then, the Supercar semi-finals. The top 3 will go through and the bottom 3 will go no further. The live Super 1600 final, it's going to be a decent battle. The French guys are really fast. And then, of course, we have the live Supercar final. Who is going to win round 9 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship? Now, Neil Cole managed earlier on to have a catch-up with one of the very popular local drivers, Davy Genet, the Frenchman, who, of course, is here with Peugeot.
Davy, I guess coming here to your home race in a French car, the dream is to win. Now, I guess, on the back row of the semi-final, the dream is just to make the final.
Yes, for me and for we, Team Peugeot Hansen and me, in France, it's a veritable fantastic event. And now for the semi-final, I'm 11, and it's very, very difficult. But I hope that my strategy is good, and I hope so for the final access after the semi-final, 3rd place with Timmy. Again, the same semi-final, and it's not easy, but it's a big challenge for me.
So what is the strategy for the semi-final? Because at the back row, you've got a lot of places to make up.
2 choices. If my start is very, very nice, I continue for the outside, and if my start is equal with the other competitor, maybe break and continue behind, and after with the joker, my chance is here.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Davy Genet being very, very honest about what his plans are. If he gets a good start, he'll go for it. If not, he'll probably go to the joker. We know he's on new tyres. We know Timmy Hansen's on new tyres as well. We think Matthias Ekström is. So this is going to be an absolute barnstormer. Here we go then, Supercar semi-final number 1. On the front row, all Swedish, Timmy Hansen and Matthias Ekström. Row 2, Frenchman Jean-Baptiste Dubourg. Great job by him and Andreas Backerud. And on row 3, Anton Markland and Davy Genet. So 2 pairs of teammates. They'll all want to stay out of each other's way. Will they split the strategy on board with Hansen? He knows a lot rests on this for the team. This is the home event in France. Peugeot Sport in front of all their guests and all these French fans. Great start, the back row by Davy Genet. Look at Genet, he's up from 6th to 4th already. Turns into turn 1 around the outside of Backerud. I think he's been pushed out by Markland. Genet's up in the gravel. He's in the wall, Genet in the gravel at the back, and Markland at the back of the grid as well there. Down front, Hansen is leading from Ekström, Dubourg, and then Backerud behind. Disaster for Genet, David Binks.
That wasn't what Genet wanted. He said before, if he could get a good start, he would stay around the outside. He got a good start, tucked in, but unfortunately got pushed out wide there.
So Backerud, the only person to go to the joker. He goes on lap 1, wants to make the most of the carnage behind. Great move, Backerud puts himself in the box seat immediately. Goes P4, the 3 in front of him got a joker. That was pretty wise.
That was good move. He's back out, he's still got 2 behind him. They haven't jokered as well, so he's just got to push on and let's see where the others get to.
So Hansen, as we know, is on new tyres, and Matthias Ekström behind him we think is, although Matthias' team had apparently made the tyres look really dirty. So the guys are now starting to play games with each other on when they're using new tyres. Petter used them as early as Heat 3. What's the difference in the strategy?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to have a good set of tyres for the end, but by putting some dirt on the tyres to try and confuse the other team so they don't know who's coming out with what, that's really quite clever.
Yeah, they're getting there, aren't they? It's getting more and more technical, more and more nervy between them in the run-up to the semis. Dubourg there in 3rd place, Backerud with the bum hanging off. That was a bit too sideways by Backerud, losing a bit of time. He wants to get on the back of these guys. Dubourg, of course, has joking now. And with the gap they've got in front, if Hansen and Ekström went, I don't think Backerud's going to make it through. Dubourg could have done a good move there by joking when he did. That's Genet. That was Genet, I think, passing Markland. So Genet's past Markland. Ekstrom, Jokers. Ekstrom into the Joker.
So Ekstrom's coming through here now. He's going to try and get in and get out and try and get back out for the back route.
He didn't use as much curve there as we've seen some of the other drivers use. Hansen still out in front. And De Borgler down in third. Fastest lap of the day to Timmy Hansen, 36.9. New tyres.
Fantastic. He's going to get a good run now. He's got a good joker right at the end. Backwards, good pressure from Genet.
And Markland's there as well. So as Backer had got a problem, look at this traffic jam here on board with Markland there, looking at Genet. Genet goes up the inside of Backer. So Backer has definitely got a problem. Hasn't gone home his way this weekend. It's not for up Backer up the inside of Genet. Genet off into our camera position almost. Oh wow, Genet off into the barriers on the outside of the track. There's the car stricken the side of the road. It's down to Timmy Hansen. He's going to race Matthias Ekstrom to the merge. Hansen comes out in front. If he can manage the next 2 laps, he'll be on the front row, but Genet is definitely not going to make it through to the final.
That's such a shame. Genet still had to do a joker as well, so he was holding Backerud up, and it was just, Backerud made a move there that, wasn't quite the gap.
Bit of contact and Genet went off, so hopefully, I'm sure he's okay. The door was open on the car already. There we are, yeah, Genet out of the car. And he'll be standing cheering on for his teammate. The French fans would have loved to see Genet go through, but at the minute they're going to get Dubourg going through instead, and that's a great result for him. This is his first World Championship semi-final this season. He's been doing Euro RX, but what a place to do it, David, in front of your home fans.
Exactly, and coming into the race again, he's been really, really quick in all the heats, and he's just been very sensible, kept out of trouble, and he's just there at the end, and that's what you're going to see. He's going to be in the final.
There we are, Susan Hansen and Kenneth Hansen. You can see them on the radio to Timmy. Matthias is all over the back of Timmy Hansen. He'd like to get in front because, of course, that would mean that he goes to the front row in the final. Hansen runs a little bit wide through that bump between turn 1 and 2. Can Ekstrom get past or not?
No, I mean, he's going to have a lunge around the outside. Look at that, he's turning the car, put it sideways. He's still with him.
Absolutely fantastic move by Ekstrom. Tried to come around the outside, got alongside him, but couldn't do it. Hansen is still out in front. These two really racing towards the end. You can hear the popping and the banging as they come off the throttle. Ekstrom again has a look up the inside, tries to do what Hansen did to him in Sweden, but there isn't enough time. Just the right hander to go. The top 3 are obvious. Here they come. Timmy Hansen goes through to the front row. Ekstrom to row 2, and Dubourg will make the final row of the final. Markland coming around the last corner now. Backerud rear tyre. Backerud's rear right, I can see from the commentary position, is off. And that may be why he was going slowly, David, or possibly he got that one with the contact with Davy Genet.
Could have been the contact at the end there, because it was left hand to right hand, putting Genet into the gravel trap. So, yeah, that could have been off the contact.
So, a bit of a shame for Backerud. We can have a look at the result. Timmy Hansen with the win, under a lot of pressure from Matthias Ekstrom in second. Dubourg goes through in third, so we've got a Frenchman in the final. Markland, Backerud and Genet are out. Genet with a DNF. Right, here's the start. Watch Genet on the outside. David Binks, this is a mega start.
Yeah, he got a nice clean run down. Look at that, he tucks across, a little bit of contact there. Keeps it steady. Another little punt from Thingy, and he's off into the wall.
Yeah, into the wall. He was unlucky, wasn't he? Because he was up to 4th, and then here we are coming in from the outside, but ended up here. In fact, Markland, look, he got hit from Dubourg. Look at Backerud too. How did he hang to that? Backerud really did. Genet was off in the gravel on both sides, and of course ended his race quite heavily in the wall. So this is Genet, I think, trying to pass Markland. Can't get through. Okay, here's Backerud up the inside. Fair old move, and Genet just caught the wrong angle, and boom. Our cameraman pulling the focus back right to the moment the camera hits. They're the bravest guys out on the track. Looking up the inside, but Hansen taking the win. Absolutely great job by him. Neil Cole, I think, is in the Iron Spotters Tower with Kenneth Hansen.
Kenneth, we can see Davy standing by his car being towed out of the gravel. First of all, is he okay? What happened there?
Yeah, the information we have is okay. And of course, you know, he had the bad first corner, so he needed to fight and try to come back. But these things happens, of course, when you need to push so hard, because it's only 3 you go to the final. So it was a little too much and ended, but it seemed to be okay.
But most importantly, Timmy wins the race, gets through to the final, did a great race.
Yeah, absolutely. He took it from the start to the finish. Matthias was pushing quite hard to try to catch him. And I told Timmy after how it was, but he said I wanted to save some tires. So I think he's quite cool.
So what's the strategy now for the final?
Now, I mean, is to hit the start. Last year we missed the start in the semi-final, and it's a big difference. I mean, if you can hit the start and be first in the first corner, depending who will be second. I mean, Matthias have a great speed. I think Petr perhaps struggle a little with things around. So we will see. We will see how after the first corner how it is.
Perfect. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Genet off on a low loader, but Timmy Hansen confident enough in his pace to back off and save the tyres a bit. So absolutely as cool as a cucumber. Kenneth, I think, quite surprised by how calm he was as well. Well, let's see if we can have another look at the David Genet crash. David Biggs, let me know what you think about this. So here we are, coming from turn one and through.
Genet is on the slide there, and a little bit of a touch from Bakkerud, but then he comes up the inside, and it's just actually in that hole into turn two. You know, you saw both cars compress there, and you're out of a little bit of control. You know, the car's moving.
So he's hit him just at the point the car's gone light. Here we go, on board.
His back wheel was off the ground there.
So Genet a little bit unlucky. I think from P6 it would have been a big ask to go through anyway, but he's having a good crack at it. And there's Markand and Bakkerud. And what that Bakkerud's tyre looks to me like it's gone down there. You can see from Markand's onboard. Well, good semi-final number one. The front three went through. Are we going to see the same in semi-final number two? They're on the grid already. On row one then for semi-final two, Petter Solberg with Johan Kristoffersen alongside him. Row two, Topi Heikkinen and Robin Larsen, podium finisher of course in Norway. And Timur Timosyanov with another great performance, and Gaetan Sarrazin, another Frenchman. Might he make it through to the final? So the front three went through last time. We know they're in a good position at the front of the grid. There was a bit of carnage behind them, not too much. Will it be a carbon copy? Or will we see a really clean race? Petter Solberg, we know, is on fairly used tyres. Has he used them too much? Can Kristoffersen get the better of him? Oh, good start, Petter Solberg. Kristoffersen's going to go with him. Kristoffersen trying to shut the door on Topi Heikkinen. Larsen comes around the outside. Larsen's getting up on the gravel on the outside. Going to be on the inside of turn two, but he drops down to P4, I think. Hits Timur Timosyanov. Timosyanov slots in behind him. So it's Petter Solberg, Kristoffersen and Heikkinen down towards the end of the straight. Dust in the background, really starting to dry out. And Heikkinen there is giving it to Kristoffersen. Larsen and Timosyanov both into the joker.
Yeah, Kristoffersen did a great start there. You know, he came across, covered Toby. It was a great braking manoeuvre, and he got himself in a position that he could control the race behind him. Solberg's away. He's got to try and think about where he's going to come to get that top three place.
So Larsen, Timosyanov of Joker, they've come out just behind Gaetan Sarrazin. So Sarrazin now is looking like he's going to drop to the back when he jokers. Solberg leading, and he's got a little gap. And we know Solberg's been using his tyres. We had information just prior to the semi-finals that Solberg's tyre wear 3 to 4 times worse on the left side of the car than the right. And David, today we've seen some people take new tyres on one side.
What you've got to remember, we always watch Solberg's car, and it's always drifting, it's always sliding, it's always smoking those tyres. Now this dirt section on this track is still very, very aggressive on the rubber, and it's showing that, you know, he's going to have to be a bit careful in this race to make sure he gets to the final. Look at Larsen coming up the inside there.
Mega job by Larsen. So when Heikkinen jokered, Larsen just in front. Those four sweeping round over the start finish. So we've only got now our lead to oh no, Sarrazin still to joker at the back as well. Petter Solberg down the straight. Look at him moving the car around on the brakes again. Heavy on the brakes. Around the right-hander, and there you go, David. Perfect example, smoking the tyres up again. Kristoffersen into the joker lap. This is going to be crucial. So here we go. Round one winner, of course, over the curves on both sides, every inch of the track. Where's he going to come back out in the traffic? Larsen was flying, but Kristoffersen comes out in front. So Larsen now down in third, and it's going to come down to Solberg and his joker lap. When would you send him? We know it's not very long here.
I think you might see him still try and push to the end. He's got to get the gap ahead. We know it's not a long joker, and he's been very, very quick through it all weekend. So I think he'll still push to do it on the last lap.
So him and Hansen super close in terms of their joker lap pace. Earlier on today, I think you said they were only about 100th apart, but they were. And here he goes.
He's done it on this one.
Solberg into the joker. So Solberg goes early. He's got a good lead. He's keen to defend over the curves on the left and then the right. Oh, he's miles in front.
He's obviously had the guys telling him how far behind the others are, and quite rightly so. Get it out of the way before you catch up on him. He might make a mistake. He might not run wide.
So Solberg nicely out in front, coming across the line to complete another lap. On to 5 or 6, everybody is jokers, so this is going to come down to whether anyone can make a pass or not. We know it's quite hard. We've seen it before, David, at this next point here, so end of the straight. There's actually quite a pronounced crest there, isn't there? From when you were here last year, if you get the braking point wrong and the car's unweighted...
That's right, as you come over the crest, you're just about to go on the brake pedal. You're trying to drop down the gears, you're just trying to keep it settled. It's very dusty either side of the racing line there as well, so anybody trying to pass you, it's a little bit difficult. But, you know, the first three now are going to have to take it easy. They've all got a slot to the final. Whether Larson and Kristoffersson will have any battling behind, I think it would be more sense just to follow the leader.
Warning there, that's a warning for Kristoffersson, I think. They were holding the flag up for him. So he's in second place. Out of our commentary position, we've just seen Serozan go past Timizyanov. That doesn't really matter because those guys are all still out. We're on the last lap. Solberg moves the car around. Is that typical Solberg style, or has he routed the tyres?
Well, if he's got a new set saved, maybe that's why he's went out the old
He hasn't got any new, we've been told.
That's
no
it.
new tyres for Solberg, so use them all up. And we change, of course, in Heat 3. Typical Solberg style. Will he have enough left for the final? We're going to see him on the front row. It's going to be a battle between him and Timmy Hansen. He won here last year. He goes through to the front row of the final. Petter Solberg, Kristoffersson through to row 2, and Larson through to row 3. So another good job for him. Crowd pleased with that. Serozan missed out down in 5th place. So we've got one Frenchman through to the final. They won't mind either way. They just want to see a great race. Here's the result of semi-final number 2. Petter Solberg with the win. Johan Kristoffersson second, Larson third, then Heikkinen, Serozan and Timizyanov. We can take a look back at the start. Pretty even start there. Serozan again got a reasonable start from the back row as we saw in the previous one. Larson here looked like he was going to go around the outside, but too much speed, David?
Yeah, I wonder if he just thought Kristoffersson was closer than he was there, because he seemed to apex late.
Give him room,
yeah, he gave him room, and then that put him out wide. But what a good move from Kristoffersson to get a front toppy.
There we go. This was Larson on the Joker lap merge. Bit of contact, I think it's fair though, and a bit of rubbing down the side. So if it's side-to-side contact, really, it's on. There was Timizyanov going past Serozan. And Solberg came over the line fairly slowly, finally saving some tyres. I wonder if maybe he could have saved the tyres a little bit earlier. So we have an absolutely massive crowd here. It's a record again, 75,000 people this weekend. Fantastic stuff, such a popular sport here in France. And there goes Chenet. Applause for him in front of a passionate French crowd. Neil Cole is in the Arndt Spotters Tower and he's with Petter Solberg's team.
Petter, that was a pretty dominant win there. You look very, very happy, but is everything all right with the car?
Yeah, everything is okay, but they had so short time between the semi and the final, so they have to get back, and the thing worked well. I had the control, backed off when I heard I took the lead.
So, Petter, you're being told you have to move on. What's the strategy for the final?
They won't let me.
They won't let me. There you go. He got told off. Petter Solberg got told off. Wasn't allowed to finish the interview. Neil Cole had made it from the Arndt Spotters Tower down to the finish area there. And I managed to have a quick chat with Petter. But Petter looking a bit stressed ahead of going through to the final. We know Timmy Hansen had new tyres, and we know Petter's are fairly well used. It's going to be a great battle. Looking forward to that. Great stuff so far. So we have our finalists lined up for round 9. Crowd are waiting now. And we can have a look back at some of the starts from today. So this will give us a good idea about possible tactics for later on. So David Binks, this was the one which unfortunately Guy Wilkes suffered from. Watch Shisha on the outside.
For the devastating one for the mini boys today. You know, the JRM cars have come on well, but Guy, he was just nowhere to go. He just got boxed in and pushed out. It was a real shame for him today.
He wouldn't have even have seen that coming, would he? And then these guys, of course, Shisha, in fact, was black flag for that later, but they were okay to choose whatever strategy they wanted, whereas poor old Guy, you know, door open, game over, a weekend to forget.
Yep.
Not ideal. Okay, Timizyanov in this one. I think it's Grosjean in the middle. Kristoffersson on the outside. Kristoffersson all the way from slot 5. We've seen Doran do it, we've seen Genet do it. Do you need to be quite ballsy to pull that off?
Yeah, we talked to a few guys, and literally they said, you know, if they get a good start from the outside, it can be better than pole. You know, they're not having to brake early to try and bunch everybody back up.
In the background, that was Danielson, who went sideways. We think he got attacked from behind, and then he managed to save it by hitting Grosjean in front. Didn't choose to go to the Joker on that occasion, and David, sometimes you don't get to choose.
You don't, but it worked well for him.
Did indeed. Genet in the middle of the grid here, Larson on the inside. So Larson trying to brake late, A little bit of contact between him and Genet, and that opens the door for PG to get alongside. PG then trying to come up the inside past Larson. Markland around the outside, and it can go on this time. So we've seen the first two starts there were pretty well settled by the end of turn 2. This went all the way down to turn 3, and look, they're absolutely neck and neck.
Nose to tail there again. It was Genet that got pushed round, and it unfortunately got wiped out, but then Markland takes the joker.
So this was semi-final number 1. Hansen at the front, Genet at the back. Genet came from right at the back and again looked good, but here Markland hit him and he ended up out wide.
Yeah, you know, it's a bit of luck of the draw. All 6 cars were trying to get down to that first corner and get through there. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to be in the corner first, and if they don't, well, it's difficult for them for the rest of the race.
This was Baccarat, bumper hanging off from that contact, and of course we know he had a puncture as well. Semi-final 2. A more even start. I thought Serrazano got a good run here, but he didn't carry it down towards turn 1. Larson, again, tried to go around the outside, and if you're getting that gravel track, you just go backwards.
Yeah, we just watched that one. Like we said, whether he thought that Kristoffersson was closer to him and he thought, I'll give him a bit of room, which is fair, you know, but it didn't work out. But luckily, he came back, took his joker, and away he goes.
Got in front of Haken. It's the Larson strategy of going on lap 1, got himself out of traffic. When it was done, he got himself back up from 4th to 3rd, and we'll see him in the final again. Good job by him. He would be dead keen, I'm sure, to repeat his performance last time out. It was a podium. Now, the Super 1600s are here with us this weekend. It's a very, very popular category here in France, and we can see what happened in their semi-finals. Semi-final 1, Yanis Baumanis in the orange and black Twingo on the right-hand side. Latvian driver leads the championship on 100 points, has a 25-point gap. Miss Yulia around the outside, I think, is 4th at the minute. 3rd, in fact, coming to this round. And this was some of the super close racing between the Super 1600s, but didn't work out for Baumanis, David.
It didn't, unfortunately. You know, these guys with the Super 1600 normally aspirated engine, they're on the flat out all the time. And the French tracks suit these cars. You know, you see them, and there's not a lot of difference in a lap time. I think it was about 2 seconds we worked out over this weekend between those and the Supercar.
Linneman took the first semi-final. Great job by him. On the inside, Igor Sanin in the Clio, Russian driver. We had in the grid up here with us, in the commentary box up here with us, Artis Baumanis, who was watching this race with us. He just watched his brother. Sanin is 17 years old and has had 280 races already. Raced since he was 6 years old, and you can see what that does. He took semi-final number 2. Let's have a look then at how they line up for the final Super 1600. Ulrich Linnemann on pole position, closing down the championship lead towards Baumanis. Igor Sanin alongside him. Andrea de Borg on row 2, David Medici next to him. Maximilian Iveno on the back with Timo Shigabutinov. Frantic action with these guys. It's a dry day, it's grippy here, even on the gravel section, so this should be a good race. Linnemann on the inside needs the best result possible to close the gap further. Look at the start at the back though, good job by Shigabutinov. He's going to see if he can come around, but it's going to be Linnemann into turn 1 with Sanin behind, and then Dubourg in 3rd place. Medici's having a look up the inside of Dubourg. Oh, contact there. Iveno is pushed wide in the C2. And it's all down towards the hairpin. Linnemann in the lead. Medici again up the inside. Contact with Shigabutinov. So Medici maybe being quite hard there and decides to go to the joker.
Yeah, I think he's backed out of that and thought, let's get a clear track to come back at them.
Used a lot of curve there, pitched the car up very high.
It did, you know, you don't normally see the Super 1600s do that. They've been trying to ride the curves a little bit less, but he definitely took a lot of that one.
Now, Sanin, we were saying, how impressive is this for a 17-year-old? I mean, that's an enormous amount of racing experience. I'm assuming he's got a fairly decent budget if he's done that many races, but all the same, going to be great to see him if he can come to the championship. He's been doing some Rallycross Challenge Europe events and showing a good speed, racing against Artis Baumanis there, say Yanis' brother, and Yanis not in this final.
Yeah, it's a real shame for him. You know, like you're saying there, the seat time's really important, and he's been very, very quick and smooth all weekend, and that comes from driving. You can see it in his driver's side.
Dubourg there, moving around a little bit on the brakes through the chicane. Who's jokered so far? Dubourg then, Medici and Iveno. Out front, we've got Linnemann with Sanin right behind him. Shigabutinov is now in 3rd place, but hasn't jokered. So Dubourg looking good for a podium here. Out at the leaders, Linnemann and Sanin. So where's Linnemann in the championship? Let's have a look. Linnemann is currently in 4th place on 74 points, so he's just 1 point further back from Szabo, who was in 2nd place. Of course, on the good side for Baumanis, Szabo hasn't made it through either.
True, and I don't know what you think about Linneman, but he's been very, very smooth all weekend. He's been quite faultless, to be honest. Every race he's just been out there, kept it neat and tidy, and got the results to get him through to the...
He's had some bad results this year as well. He's been really unlucky. I think it was a blown engine in Belgium. A huge roll in Sweden, of course, as well. In turn one, and really that kind of wasn't his fault, you know, just a victim of it. Family-run team and a self-built car, so nice to see them getting a good result. And against the French guys, this is impressive stuff too. This is round 5 of 7, so we're past the halfway point in the season. That was Norway last time out. Baumanis.
Linneman's gone for the Joker lap, which is giving Sanin a clear run. Whether Linneman can get back out, it's going to be close, because as we know, the actual exit from the Joker lap is probably the strongest into the last corner.
Linneman coming out in the lead, good job by him. Sanin now is in danger here of jokering and ended up going backwards among the guys behind him. Shigebutinov, I wonder if Sanin's holding him up.
It could be a case of both Sanin and Shigebutinov going to the Joker together on the last lap.
Linneman could score maximum points here this weekend. Baumanis would be disappointed if he does that, because he closed the gap down by 5 in qualifying and then by a further, I think it was a further 3 points in the semi-finals. If he does this, that'll be another 8. Sanin definitely holding up the rest of the pack. We think maybe a puncture front right, looking at the car. He's okay through the right-hander. Let's see if he gets on through the left. That'll tell us if he's got problems.
Yeah,
and it is. Tyres off the rim. So Sanin dropping backwards. Shigebutinov goes past him. Dubourg's going to go past him on the outside.
Unfortunately, that's going to ruin Shibutinov's race, because he's been held up there. He's still got a Joker as well on this last lap.
Dubourg up the inside of Sanin. Sanin's been pushed out wide. It's a great shame for Sanin to get a puncture here, but that's the way it goes. On the last lap, looking to see who's going to take the Joker lap. This one is all going to be about Linneman. Great drive by him. Shigebutinov goes into the Joker lap. Can he come out and maintain a podium position, or is it going to be nicked from him at the final? Didn't take much curve on the inside. He might get third, he might even get second. Shigebutinov and Dubourg, the crowd will like that. Dubourg goes up into second place. Great for him and for the French fans, but it's Linneman who's going to win this round of the European Super 1600 Rallycross Championship. Dubourg, the Frenchman, comes across the line in second, and Shigebutinov, having been held up by his fellow Russian, ends up third. Linneman with a big handbrake turn. And another one. Really happy, relieved to get a decent result. Rolled in heat 4. My mistake, it was Sweden last time out, of course, not Norway. So they've had a big break. Linneman in first place, Dubourg second, Shigebutinov third. You can see the championship points down the right-hand side. David Medici, Maximilian Ivano, and Igor Sanin with that puncture at the back of the pack. Linneman on the roof. He's very happy with that. Thank you very much. Second win of the year. One back in Germany as well. From the start then, Linneman with a lovely start on the inside. Sanin moves across here. A dive there in the background. That was Maximilian Ivano who tried to get the inside. Medici then tries to have a look on the left-hand side, and there was contact there between them.
Again, Medici sort of got boxed in on the curbs there, and it sort of sprung off onto the other car.
So contact aplenty in the Super 1600 final. This was Sanin, and it was the point, of course, the front right had gone down. That meant that the left-handers he couldn't take. So he was okay in the right-handers like this, but the next corner he won't be able to turn in. Dubourg had seen that. Dubourg managed to get through. This result, fantastic for Linneman. It means he's halved the gap to Baumanis at the top of the championship table. Linneman over the line, and a big handbrake turn to celebrate. Good lad. Linneman rolls back towards the paddock, and he'll be able to celebrate his gain in the championship. Let's see what the points are after this round. Janis Baumanis then on 113 and Linneman on 104. The gap was 25. It's now 9. So he's more than halved it. Szabo in third, Shigebutinov, Misulia, Dubourg, Stepankus, and Smetana. There's Linneman hanging out the side of the car. I think the biggest Super 1600 entry we've had all year here in France. Okay, in the pre-grid. Okay, that's Heikkinen in the pre-grid. They're working on his car. It's the wire, I think, for wiring a seal. Okay, so they've maybe changed the turbo on the car. They use that wire to wire up bolts, which they don't want to come undone, and also to seal things like turbos and engines. They wouldn't have had time to change it, or possibly just to seal a hose, but bonnet down. It's almost as if they're trying to hide it. What's on the floor there, David? Did you see something?
I just saw a bit of liquid. I think it's more likely it's like an intercooler hose or something may have popped off, but I think that's what it could be.
Big waves from the crowd, the local flag being waved as well. Waiting expectantly for fireworks in the final. Backrud and Solberg, a little nod between them. Contact last time out. Petter wasn't very pleased about that. See whether he can get a better result here. Neil Cole is down with our Super 1600 winner, Ulrich Linnemann.
Ulrich, we can see how much it means to you to win here. You deserved a weekend like this, and now you're second in the championship.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The crowd here is perfect. It's amazing to win in front of that crowd. It's I can't describe it with words. And after the roll in Sweden, it's brilliant to come back with a victory. It's yeah, I have no words. I am so happy.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you to all my friends and to my team. It's yeah, it's so big.
Really, really happy. Very pleased for him after that roll in Sweden. I think he blew his engine when he was leading in Belgium as well. So he's had a couple of really disappointing results. Not been his year. Solberg's team slotting the windows back in. The windows are quick release. I wonder if they maybe made a couple of click changes to the dampers in the back of the car. Their tyre pressures as well. So this is going to be crucial. The Cooper tyres, of course, that everybody runs on. Each person, each driver gets 8 tyres for the weekend, and you manage them as you want to. Solberg changed tyres in Heat 3 and then went out and won that heat. Hansen didn't change tyres until the semi-finals, so we know he's on newer boots than Solberg. He looks so relaxed, doesn't he?
Isn't it nice? Every time you go in car with Timmy, apart from just before the start where he fires himself up, he's just so calm and precise with everything he's doing. He's thinking. He's got it all planning in his head right now.
I don't know how he stays so calm. I really
I wish
don't.
I could have.
Yes. Yeah. I wish I could stay that calm in the commentary box, let alone in the supercar on pole for the final round 9 of the World Championship. It just looks like he's about to go out and do a few test laps, doesn't he? Davy Genet, thumbs up. The crowd are going mad for that. That's the local commentator interviewing Davy for the crowd. He'll be disappointed. It wasn't his best performance this weekend. He wasn't quite on the pace. Hansen just putting his gloves on. Almost final time, bonnet down, final checks. Neil Cole has managed to grab Robin Larsson. We can hear what he thinks ahead of the final.
Robin, you're getting yourself strapped in for the final. What's your mission?
Just get into the battle. We're in the final, so I'm really happy with that. So it's really tough guys here in the final, but everything can happen in the first corner, and just do what I can and push it harder than I can.
Good luck.
Well, of course, Toby Heikkinen hasn't qualified, so it doesn't matter what they're doing to the car, but he's the first reserve, which, of course, is why they're re-preparing that car. That was from just a few moments ago when we saw them wiring something under the bonnet, wiring a bolt or a connector fully shut. Robin Larsson will be hoping for another decent result. Larsson is in 10th place in the championship, got his first and only podium in Norway, and then did the best donuts ever around the Monster Energy can. He's a good lad, Larsson, knows how to celebrate when it goes his way. Norwegian flag, some support for Petter Solberg, support for Guy Wilkes. That didn't work out either, did it? Neil Cole's down on the pre-grid, and he's grabbed another one of our final drivers.
Matthias Ekström, this is it, it's final time. What do you have to do to get a win?
Yeah, it will be maximum attack, and I think it's all about the Joker lap to get it clean, and then if I'm close enough, I think Joker will make or break for the victory.
And what about tyres? What's the situation?
We have very good tyres now, so now we are ready.
Good luck, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, Ekström says he's ready. I think they all are. We've just had, there's Petter Solberg. A lot of interest in this final. Some of the drivers are up in the commentary area, looking down on the race. We've had Rainy Snittish and Guy Wilkes poke their head around the window and look in to see what's going on. Guy, of course, has been up here in the commentary box for recent events. We're looking forward to seeing him this weekend, but unfortunately it didn't go his way in the Mini. Some of the VIP guests here in a great viewing tower. You can see the whole of the track. In fact, from most areas of Loheac, you can see most of the track. It's great for the spectators. Ekström tightening the belts. Tension building, ready for the final. Monster Energy girls down on the grid, waiting for the cars to do their final tyre warm on the pre-grid and get themselves into position. Neil Cole is down there, and he's managed to grab Petter Solberg for a quick word ahead of the final.
Petter, it's all ready for the final. You just had to speak to your engineer. What's going on?
I just need my door.
We can shut that for you, but before we shut it, final words before you launch.
Will do my best. That's it. And it's good to be back in the top again without anybody hitting me, so that's good.
Thank you. Good luck.
So Petter saying it's good to be back at the top without anybody hitting me. So that's a little reference back to last round. He's been giving it out of this round as well, so he's playing a bit firmer. Let's see the lineup then for the final of round 9 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship from Loheac in France. Timmy Hansen on pole. He won last time in Norway. Can Petter Solberg avenge that and take victory here in France? Matthias Ekstrom and Johan Kristoffersen on row 2. The French hope Jean-Baptiste Dubourg on the back row with Robin Larsen, podium finisher at Norway last time, alongside him. Matthias pulls up to the grid. There goes Kristoffersen. Okay, Ekstrom reversing up, just trying to get the car lined up perfectly. Larsen now about to do a tyre warm. And a tyre clean. He's about to be released to put him on the back of the grid. Okay, Larsen now then, the last one to go. They do this before every race. Fans are waiting for it. It's going to be good. It always is in World Rallycross. David Binks, who's your money on?
Well, I'd like it to be Timmy, but I think Larsen might be in the top 3.
Okay, Larsen for another podium then from David Binks. He could do, he capitalised last time out. Hansen's on good tyres, so's Ekstrom. It's worth pointing out that Hansen, Ekstrom and Solberg love to beat each other, let's just say. There's been needle building between them. Here's Timmy. Deep breath, eyes wide. Come on, Timmy. Nearly ready to go. Clunks the car into gear. You can hear the anti-lag is on. We're ready to launch for round 9 of the World Rallycross Championship. Great start, Timmy Hansen on the inside, Kristoffersen as well. Kristoffersen's going to try and get in behind Solberg. Solberg stops into second place. Larsen around the outside. A spin for Ekstrom. Lights the throttle up, but he's way back. Ekstrom is out of this. Ekstrom has spun in turn 2. It's Hansen from Petter Solberg. And Kristoffersen looking up the inside and Larsen down to the end. Who's going to go to the choke lap? I thought Kristoffersen was getting up, but in the end Larsen went.
I think Kristoffersen, what a move he made to get up to where he was, but I think he was going to go for the joker, and they ended up taking Larsen, who took it in the end.
Hansen then leading from Solberg. This is going to come down to joker lap. David, Timmy Hansen, Monster Energy Supercharger will of course for first into the first corner. If you're Petter Solberg, when would you go? We think Timmy's on better tyres. We're not seeing much of a gap yet, but if you were his spotter, what would you do?
Well, he's got Kristoffersen behind him. Kristoffersen's been really, really rapid all weekend. So I think Timmy's obviously going to push to the last lap. He's got the fresher tyres. Solberg hasn't. So does Solberg do it now, which he is, because he's going to try and use those tyres to get back out before the wear out.
I didn't think that was a great entry by Solberg. Did you? It looked a little bit wide to me, a little bit too Larry. So Solberg, where's he going to come back out? Solberg has taken his joker out, he's going to come back out, and he comes out just in front of Dubourg. Dubourg hasn't jokered yet, so Dubourg's going to drop back. Everyone's jokered except for Hansen and Dubourg, so Solberg coming to second place. Dubourg, though, is all over the back of him, so Dubourg's doing well here in the C4. It's David Genet's old car. And still going very, very well indeed. Solberg, I think the tyres might be rooted, David.
Andrew, Dubourg's all over him there. I mean, even up, and there's Kristoffersen out on the gravel trap at the back. But Solberg's struggling to get the traction. He's struggling to put the power down. You can see that Dubourg's right on his bumper, and that's unusual.
Timmy yet to joker, comes around from the exit of it. The team are very cool, and so is he normally. They might hold on, or they might try and go early. Petter at the minute is under pressure, and this is going to be helping these guys. Look at Susan, she's really feeling the tension. Solberg not really having to defend from Dubourg, but he will be aware that Larsen stopped. Robin Larsen has stopped at the side of the road. Timmy Hansen still leading, but Petter Solberg in second place at the back of your shot now. Under pressure from Dubourg. When does Hansen go? He goes for another lap, so they're confident that they're gapping him.
We've seen this a lot with Hansen's team over the year, and literally, Dubourg Borg's in the joke lap now. Let's see here. He's going to clip the curb really, really aggressive through those curbs. He's pushing so hard. He wants a podium today.
I think he might be able to get one. So De Borg is going to come out in front of Christopherson. This leaves us with one man left. They're going mad up here with us in the commentary. You can hear them banging their feet on the ground. The crowd love that as well. They can see that they've got a French podium on. Are they going to have a French manufacturer on the top step with Timmy Hansen? He's got enough of a gap. When does he go?
He'll go last lap. He's got to. I know he's got it now.
Is he or not? We're looking. He's got the long round on very hard on, but with Timmy, he has. Timmy goes into the joke lap zone, over the jump, into the left, over the curbs, into the right, over the curbs. You're going to see Solberg in the background. Timmy Hansen's going to come out in front here. He's just got to hold on for one more lap. There's Robin Larsen's car stuck at the side of the road, but this at the minute is a master class from Timmy Hansen.
This is what we're seeing more and more from both Timmy and also Peugeot Hansen as a whole with Genet. They are literally so confident in those cars. They can just drive them, and they are not worried. They can take it when they need to go in.
Camera there looking back from Timmy Hansen's car. You can see that the gap that he's got on Petter Solberg is absolutely enormous. The crowd will really be hoping that De Borg are going to come round. There's Larsen disappointed at the side of the road. But this is all about Timmy Hansen. He's been the overnight leader for 4 events in a row. He's been TQ for 3 events in a row, and he's going to win 2 events in a row. Timmy Hansen wins for Peugeot Hansen. It's a Peugeot crossing the line at home in France. That sets the team and the crowd off. Solberg takes second. De Borg is third, a Frenchman on the podium as well. What a result for France. The fans are pleased with that. And it is a brilliant drive by Timmy Hansen to win round 9 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Brilliant job.
Yeah, look at the smile on Timmy's face there. You know, he's working so hard within this team. The whole team's working hard, but on the home soil, to put the Peugeot on the top step of the podium. Look at the team. I just saw it in super.
What a mega result. What a mega result. 2 wins in a row. Solberg here, of course, has managed to rescue the championship situation. He hasn't lost many points. We've got a couple of European events coming up, which means he's unlikely to lose big points. So Solberg, from the championship point of view, he'll be pleased. But Hansen, look at this. Over the moon. Well done, Timmy. He's absolutely chuffed to bits. Double fist pump Timmy Hansen. Kisses the Peugeot at home in France. The crowd like it, and rightly so. It's a wonderful drive. Neil Cole is down with Kenneth Hansen right now.
Kenneth, look the name on the top. Again.
Yeah, look again. I was here many years ago, but now again in Loheac, it's fantastic. And see the speed. I mean, it was his race this weekend, from the start to the finish, so really good.
You seem to be coming into an amazing period with Timmy and the car. What's going so well at the moment?
They have confidence in the car, and we have confidence in the team. You know, we work very small details here and there. Even if we don't make the best heat, we are under control. We have confidence. We continue. Good strategy and everything. So it's just played our cards right.
Enjoy this moment. Well done.
Thank you. Yes.
Very emotional from Kenneth Hansen, and very emotional from Timmy too. It is his 2nd maximum score in a row. TQ, semi-final win and final win. Brilliant job by him, and wonderful to see the French crowd appreciating a Swedish driver winning in a French car. Here's the result then of round 9 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Timmy Hansen winning from Petter Solberg. De Borg, a Frenchman on the podium, as well as a French car at the top. Christopherson, Ekstrom and Larsen are your finalists. Another look back then at the start. Christopherson good around here and tried to move across, but Ekstrom was up his inside. There was a tiny bit of contact there, and Ekstrom ends up spinning round.
Yeah, I think, again, like earlier on, Christopherson took a good line into the corner, but Ekstrom just got on the gas a bit too soon, unsettled and spun it.
That was Christopherson in the background, absolutely wild through there. I wonder if he just judged that bump wrong, because, of course, when the car goes light, you end up running wide.
You do, Andrew, and I think he was just on maximum attack, and he wanted to be back up the front.
Who can stop this man? He's on an absolute fly. You know, the stats say it all. He is so fast at the minute, and able to use 1 set of tyres to quality, save a set for semis and finals.
Fantastic. And remember, De Borg there was there at the end, and that was another amazing result for French on home soil.
Absolutely brilliant. He'll be over the moon with that. There he is. Podium finish, and not in the very latest spec car either. Mega. Timmy Hansen with a quick donut after the finish. and then celebrations in front of the crowd. It's a second win for Timmy Hansen in a row. He's going to do it all the way through to the end of the year if he can. Dubourg on top of the car, rightly pleased with that result. Absolutely stunning result for him. French TV crew straight in for a chat with him. Now we can have another look back at that start. Maybe we can figure out what's happened with Ekstrom. There's Timmy Hansen, look. That wasn't pre the start, I can tell you. He looked relaxed, but not that relaxed. Gloves off, helmet off, heading back for some celebrations.
I think there may be some champagne in the Hansen tent tonight.
I think so. Here we go then. So let's look at Ekstrom, P3.
Yeah, look at that. Straight across with Kristoffersson. He did that in the semi-final as well, but there Ekstrom wasn't going to back out. And there, he's on the gas and it's just lost control.
I wonder if maybe he's broken something in the contact in the first corner.
Could be. Maybe a drive shaft with the tyres bumping together.
Kristoffersson having a look up, or going up the inside of Larson. That was nicely done. And then the two of them, I really wasn't sure where Kristoffersson was going there. And then Larson just went into him, and it was a case then of got to take it.
Yeah.
Hansen in the lead from Solberg. Solberg going with him at first, but then Timmy seemed to be able to pull away at will.
Yeah, we looked at the tyre situation, you know, and Solberg was having to nurture those tyres. He knew he wanted to be on the podium. He had to keep the points up there. So, you know, he could have pushed harder, but then he could have potentially got a puncher. So, good for Timmy.
Fantastic controlled drive. He's just so relaxed. There he is in Parc Fermé, down by the podium.
All you guys out of here, away from this car.
Okay, they're telling everyone to get away from the car, and that's because, of course, the car is in Parc Fermé conditions. Timmy moving the number one because he's parked in the wrong place. So if you can't get the car to number one, move the number one to the car. And Petter Solberg there to congratulate him. I think Petter knows there that he's been outdone at this one. Petter with a good championship lead. There's Stephanie from Peugeot Sport. She's so pleased. There was so much pressure for them. 120 guests from Peugeot here. Oh, big relief for the team. Great to see the emotion. It's mega. Stephanie lifted out of the Parc Fermé area now. Hank de Winter, one of our pre-grid staff, trying desperately to get out of the shot, Hankies. Don't worry about it, Hank. You're a legend. There's Timmy cleaning himself off before his interviews. We're going to have a look back at some of the celebrations on the track. Here was Timmy climbing out the car. Over the moon.
You know, the adrenaline he's been going in his body through that race, and he is just letting it all out there. He could not be a happier person right now, and it's just fantastic for him. You know, we've said before, he always puts the effort in. You can see that he does in his training and in his driving, and it's just great to see a result come like that.
Brilliant job by Timmy Hansen. Second win in a row and a win at home for Peugeot Sport, and of course for Peugeot Hansen. It's the dream result. Neil Cole is down in the collection area where the top three drivers are, and he is with our winner, Timmy Hansen.
Timmy, congratulations. Once again, the Hansen name wins here in Loheac. How does it feel?
I feel so really good. For all the fans that are here, they have been absolutely amazing this weekend. They have supported me all the way through, giving them as much as I can. We are in France with Peugeot, and you can really feel the lion is at home.
Now, obviously as well, for the championship, that gives you a huge boost of points.
Yeah, unfortunately, Solberg did a really good job too. So, I mean, he's really far ahead, and if he also keeps doing this well, you know, I'm so happy for today. We did absolutely everything we could today. We played the tactics great. The car really is fantastic around Loheac. I'm so happy we made it all the way.
And most importantly, it was a clean final and you won fair and square.
Yeah, from the start, immediately I was surprised that I got such a good jump. But then 6 really clear laps. They pushed me a lot on the radio, but the Peugeot was fantastic all the way through. And when I came out the Joker in the lead, that's an amazing feeling. And the last lap, I could just enjoy it.
And a message for all the fans here, because there are so many tens of thousands of fans here, and you've been signing autographs all day yesterday. They've adopted you as a Frenchman, really.
Yeah, I mean, this victory is for all the supporters that are out there. They are a big part of what happened today, and I'm so happy that they believe in me, they believe in Peugeot, and they believe in Team Peugeot Hansen.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
how to do a winner's interview by the man who's won 2 events in a row and pretty much everything is possible to win at every event. Clean sweep of points, qualifying, semi-finals, and even Monster Energy Supercharge Awards. It doesn't get better than that. Let's see what's happened then to the drivers' standings. After round 9, Petter Solberg continuing to lead. Timmy Hansen will close that down just by a tiny bit, but not by very much. But it's still great to take a second win in a row. Kristoffersen in 3rd place. Hansen's now gapped him quite significantly. Bakkerud down in 4th. Of course, he was 2nd on the way into Norway. Genet, not the result he wanted here at home. Then it's Matthias Ekström, Reinis Nittisch and Topi Heikkinen are your top 8. Larsen 9th, Timozianov 10th, PG Anderson, Stoll, Markland, Faust, Linnerud and Liam Doran in 16th. Well, Neil Cole is still down there with all those photographers and all that celebrating, and he has grabbed our world champion. He won here last year, but he could only get 2nd this time round. It's Petter Solberg.
Petter, that was impressive. Were you conserving, holding back to get points, or was that flat out?
No. I was actually putting the intermediate as the main thing and the semi. Honestly, I didn't have tires left at all for the final. I used everything that I could before just to get the stability and get into the final, and you know, because I need to average 21 points after my calculations, and I'm into that. So yeah, I would like to win. Timmy did a good job, and especially Dubourg, he did a fantastic job. I have to say, very impressed. And but very simple, no tires at all, and yeah. Still happy.
Did you expect to come under such pressure from Dubourg? Because he was very impressive all weekend.
Yeah, I know. We have seen it in the whole weekend that he have been really on the pace, and he's a proper talent. And it's nice to see that come and performing in the World Championship like that. So I'm very, very impressed with his job.
And yours too. Well done.
I'm happy. Thanks.
Thanks, Petter.
Solberg very happy. He knows he's defended that lead in the driver's title. This is the team standings. Team Peugeot Hansen are starting to run away with it. Just 2 events ago, they were 2 points back. They're now nearly 50, I think 53 points in front, is it? So a fantastic job by them. Ford MSC in 2nd. SDRX, of course, that's Petter and Liam together. And VW Markland, Team Sweden and EKS. Neil Cole is down with our Frenchman on the podium, Dubourg.
Jean-Baptiste, a very, very impressive race from you. To be on the podium at Loheac with this field of world-class drivers, how does it feel?
Absolutely, it's a dream come true. Today was an amazing race for me. I was first in the semi. We were very happy of that. And after the semi, we say, everything can happen. It's motor racing. So I enjoy the 6th lap of this race. And I push a lot. My spotter tell me, push, come on. And at the end, a podium in the World Championship, wow, unbelievable.
One of obviously there's world-class World Championship drivers here, but the crowd were cheering for you. Every time you made a good move, the crowd were behind you. Could you hear it? Were you aware of the support?
Yeah, I think I was lucky today because, when I see Larsen enter in the Joker with Petter, I say, oh, no, it's not time. And sometimes you need some luck, and today was my time.
Thank you, merci, congratulations.
Thank you.
Dubourg very pleased indeed with his weekend performance, and rightly so. We've seen some absolutely fantastic racing all weekend long. David Binks, you enjoyed yourself?
It's been fantastic, Andrew. The drivers have been great, the racing's been great, there's been some action, there's not been a lot of carnage. It's been a good weekend.
It has indeed. French fans, Petter Solberg, of course, won here last year, not able to do it this time out. A little bit of carnage. Guy Wilkes, it was a shame, wasn't it, to see him heading out like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same yesterday with Albatech. They had a little bit there, just been seen. And, a couple of the teams that really have moved forward this weekend, but unfortunately just didn't have the luck. Liam as well, it was very disappointing for him. We're all rooting him on there. He's had some fast lap times in there, and it's a shame. He should have been up there in the final today as well, but there's always next time.
David Binks, thank you very much indeed for being with us this weekend. Hope to see you out in a World RX car again soon.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
This was some of the carnage in one of the semi-finals. Semi-final 1, David Genet being fired off. Bakkerud, unfortunately, with a puncture. Hansen taking the win, but with Ekström right behind him. We weren't sure which of those two was going to have the pace in the final. We knew they were both on new tyres. Petter Solberg, we knew, had pretty well ruined his tyres. Kristoffersen, and then Larsen as well. Larsen managing to get the better of Heikkinen. and that meant that he made it through to the final. Couldn't make it through to the podium this time. Timosyanov there. This was Solberg again, sweeping around that last right-hander with the sideways style, but used the tyres just a little bit too much. He would go through to the front row, but when it came to final time, Timmy Hansen got himself all fired up and got an absolutely stunning start away from the line. Look at that. Solberg knew it. He slotted him behind. The other threat of Ekström was knocked out in turn 1. Did he break a drive shaft? We don't know. Ended up spinning round. Solberg opted to joker early. Hansen pushed and pushed and pushed as Larsen retired. He gapped them all. Ekström here, a long way back. When he came out of the joker lap, he was absolutely miles in front. It's a second win in a row, a second maximum points in a row. Timmy Hansen and Team Peugeot Hansen are looking unstoppable. A win at home for Peugeot as well. What a weekend. We'll see you in a fortnight's time. Brand new track. We're heading to Barcelona in Spain.